to 26.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
You know, to be honest, I thought Arkansas had them right where you wanted them in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 15, backed up, all the momentum with the Razorbacks. And then Jalen Milroe, not Bryce Young, made a play and changed the entire complexity of that game. Arkansas never recovered after that play. They punched it in the end zone. And I know there's going to be a lot of hot takes this morning. Good thing, Tommy, it's a Hot Take Monday.
Yeah, it's brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Get out and explore all the natural state has to offer in a brand new RV by Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. It's all at Wheels RV and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. That's Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
I think it was 2016 when Alabama went down here and marched all the way down and fumbled near the goal line. Arkansas recovered, and you thought, well, maybe it's going to go according to plan today. The offense did its part that day. The defense did not. Kind of felt the same way at points during this game where Alabama marched down initially on the opening drive and then threw that interception. Dwight McLaughlin's his 3rd this season, and I thought, okay. They needed turnovers. We talked about forcing turnovers all week. They do in the first possession, and then Bryce Young gets injured in the second quarter, and Jalen Milroe has to come in. Alabama has to completely change their offense. Bill O'Brien goes to that more Jalen Hurts type of running style, and Arkansas in the fourth quarter just defensively, a couple long runs from Jahmyr Gibbs, that run from Milroe, and offensively just couldn't click as much as they were in that third.
Couldn't move the ball. Obviously too many punts, too many three and outs, 4 and outs, 5 and outs, no sustained drives. You thought early, based on everything you just said, that, hey, maybe Lady Luck's on her side. You had the tip ball that you were just lucky to get at the goal line, but it, obviously I think saved a touchdown, would have put this thing, as we later found out, on ice maybe a little earlier. So you thought, yeah, maybe it is the day today. And then you get like you said, I don't want to call it good fortune, but when the Heisman Trophy winner gets injured early in the ball game, that's just a break you need to take advantage of. And 2 things: couldn't sustain the drives, couldn't stop the run, and those were the things that beat you on Saturday.
Couldn't throw the football either. Coach Pittman talked about that. They've become a little one-dimensional, and I know KJ missed some throws. He was under duress. I know that Alabama was coming after him a little bit. There were times the offensive line didn't block up, but I thought when you look back at the tape, there's some plays that he could have made. 13 for 24 is what he ended his day with, 155 yards. And they were getting some good push at times on the offensive line. I thought there were some times during the game, especially in that third quarter, where Alabama was just helpless trying to stop Arkansas's rushing attack. Rocket Sanders, A.J. Green. I know Rashad Dubinion is still probably ticked about that fumble that he had, where it was a great play by I think it was Quinn Helms, if I remember that right, the Alabama secondary player that came out and ripped that ball away. But I thought at times Arkansas dominated the line of scrimmage during points of the game.
That was a key moment when they had to review that. I mean, it became, once you got that other angle, it became pretty obvious it was a fumble. That was a momentum killer, to say the least, because Arkansas was moving it a little bit. You're right, there were times Arkansas was getting a push. Then there were times where it seemed like Bama was just living in the backfield. Arkansas never really got to the Alabama quarterbacks consistently in this ball game, and that was the other big thing. Until Arkansas got the final scoring drive in the first half, kind of a courtesy touchdown or a late touchdown, whatever you want to call it. It didn't really factor into the first half that much. It's 74 yards offense going into that drive. And they spent most of the half getting nothing done offensively, so that made their halftime stats look at least respectable with about a 70-some yard drive that completed the half. So, I mean, just anemic on offense, right? Couldn't throw it, had like 18 yards passing to that point. KJ, I thought, missed some open receivers, particularly going out into the flats. They were calling pass routes and plays a lot of times instead of the middle. Where were they going? They're going out on the edge towards the boundaries and into the flats. And then the one play, you had two plays from Alabama were just the middle of the field, and you could see the shift early from Young to his slot receiver inside, and they just took full advantage of open space in the middle of the field and took it to the house.
Yeah, it was Miles Slusher. Miles Slusher didn't look healthy to me on Saturday. Maybe the doctors listening right now would have a better gauge on that, but there are times he looked gimpy and didn't look like he was himself. I don't know if he's still dealing with whatever or whatnot, but that was something I noticed and picked out. But, yeah, when Arkansas brought pressure, it seemed like Young picked it up, and what happened is when Milroe came in, they went back to more of a rushing style offense. They proved they're still Alabama, and they do it differently. They don't line up in the power I for the most part anymore, but they still are a powerful, physical running football team. And we saw with Milroe, we saw with Gibbs, we saw with McClellan, and some of the other guys that they featured in there that they can still run the ball when they need to. And at times, Arkansas was helpless, particularly in that fourth quarter. And that Gibbs kid, I know that he's not necessarily a Derrick Henry or a Mark Ingram or one of the other outstanding running backs that they've had in past. That kid can play, and Jordan Dominic's old teammate at Georgia Tech, you'd love to have him on your football team too.
Well, that 76-yard run he had there in the late third quarter, that was the one that sent him to the stand, or sent him to the gates, sent him to the parking lots. I mean, Gibbs looked like an All-American on that and ended up with 206 yards on 18 carries. I mean, when you let someone average 11 yards a carry for that many carries. I know Milroe averaged a little more than that, but was only on 6 carries. When the running back has 11 yards a carry and 200 yards, that's a long day for a defensive coordinator.
It's not gonna go well for the most part. Now I know a lot of you are wondering, hey, what's gonna happen in Starkville? What's gonna happen with this football team? Here's Sam Pittman post game about how they can turn it around.
Last year we lost 3 in a row and turned out and won 4 of the last 5 or 5 of the last 6, whatever it might be. We got to find a way to turn it around. I know we've played 2 really good teams the last 2 weeks, but we've got to play better regardless of what the score is, what it becomes. We've got to play more consistent.
It doesn't get any easier going to Starkville. They clobbered Texas A&M this weekend. Then you got to go to BYU and play in Provo. They've come back down to earth a little bit, but Will Rogers played really well against the Aggies, and I would think after losing in the former fashion they did in Fayetteville that he's going to have something a little extra in store for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
I don't. Maybe has the line been out for that game yet, or have
5.5? Yeah, 5.5 is Arkansas dog.
Yeah, I was going to say I would not expect Arkansas to be favored in any way, shape, or form in that ball game. So that might be a pointer. I thought it'd be more like 3.5 or 4, but it's negligible what you're talking about, the difference there. But yeah, I mean that gives you an idea of kind of where you're at as a football team. You're going to Starkville, and you're the underdog. So that was, not where you thought you were going to be a few weeks ago when you seemed to be a team that might could win one of the last 2. You won none of the last 2, and now you've got Mississippi State and still a tough BYU trip ahead of you. You've got to figure out a way to win at least one of these 2, and you really want to right the ship, you need to win the next 2 going into the bye.
I'm excited to go to Starkville, and I hope Arkansas has a good performance. I've never been. I can't wait for this weekend. Apparently the good barbecue and good burgers down there is what I've been told.
All right, there we go. All right, we're off and running on a Hot Take Monday. Hey, we're brought to you by World of Wireless. I got good news. ESPN,
they resolve it?
Disney, all of that, and Dish are back in bed together. Woke up to an email. It was not that way when I went to bed, but it didn't take long. So, hey, all the hand-wringing and all that, because I had some too, all the nervousness about what am I going to do for football with Dish, that's over. World of Wireless can get you fixed up. So, hey, if you're tired of all these things, and now you know it's not going to happen for a long time with Dish because they got that resolved, they can get it. They can get you going right now with World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. They've been your local Dish dealer for 26 years, and they know exactly how to install that with their expert local installation from World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH for WOW World of Wireless.
A lot to get to here on a Hot Take Monday.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
Big old slab. C'est bon, Starkville.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Playing pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $150,000 plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for the correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house and 20 times your entry if you hit all your picks. Bet on up to 5 player props, over-unders, or individual player matchups across every major sports league, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Sign up now with your promo code HTL. That's promo code HTL at nohouseadvantage.com, or download the app on the app stores to get a first deposit match of up to $25. Make sure to check out No House Advantage today and experience daily fantasy sports redefined, because it's not just how you play, but where you play. You won't want to miss out on this. nohouseadvantage.com, promo code HTL.
Red House and Sassy's Barbecue and Grill. They got 2 locations, one off the Weddington exit in Fayetteville, easy to find. Another one over on College, the original Red House. It is patio season. I mean, we're starting to get these crisp, nice mornings, the afternoons. I mean, Saturday's weather in the stadium was awesome. 77, sunny. Those are the kind of days and afternoons you want to really enjoy some outdoor dining. Well, they've got it for you at Sassy. So enjoy the fall of the year, the change of the season. You can have a pulled pork sandwich, tender brisket, some of their smoked wings. They've got great sides, awesome burger. The catfish, don't sleep on it. And didn't you tell me the chicken fried steak
I
there?
like the chicken fried steak.
Chicken fried steak, really good at either location, and both have great patios for you to enjoy. That's Sassy's Original Red House on College, Sassy's Barbecue and Grill off Steamboat at the Weddington exit. So try them out. That's Sassy's. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
Arkansas won the third quarter. Bumper pulled Drew Sanders after the game. We're discussing it. But the fourth quarter went Alabama's way, including that big-time play from Milroe. Here's what Coach Pittman had to say after that.
The way we came out and fought back into the game. I mean, we were in it. And but that play right there seemed to take a little bit of the wind out of our sails, and we couldn't convert the next time we had the ball. But that was a big, big play. And
I mean, you're in a 3rd and 15. I think Alabama had a false start. It was going to be 3rd and 10, and then you pushed them back even more. They're deep inside their own territory. Arkansas is only down 5 at that point, and then he makes a play. Now, officiating was not the reason you lost, but I did go back and watch that game. Dominic's face mask is getting grabbed when he's trying to make the tackle on that. But they did have, I think Arkansas had, what, you've got the stat sheet. Alabama ended up with 10
more penalties.
They had 10 penalties. But I know I went back and watched that play. I would always go back and rewatch the games, and I did notice that. But that kid, I mean, you're in a situation, you don't think you're going to play. The only time you think you're going to play is if Bryce puts up 50 on Arkansas and you get to play in the fourth quarter. So it took him a little bit. He wasn't the best of passers compared especially to Bryce, who is just an incredible arm talent. But
why would you throw it when Arkansas was giving up 300 on the ground?
I was going to say, when it mattered, what they did is they had to transition the offense and went to more traditional Alabama football. And Jahmyr Gibbs and Milroe, they just made it more of a traditional Alabama offense at that point. O'Brien completely changed the scheme on that.
I guess we'll find out more today. Arkansas's got quarterback concerns. I don't want to use the word issues because that means you might have something else going on. KJ Jefferson goes out of the game, and that brought up, I thought KJ's injury gets kind of lost in the text and the conversations and the mumblings and the post-game conversations, all this amongst fans. Well, why did Malik Horns become? What's wrong with Malik? And we've been talking about this for a while, that, hey, if there was some kind of sustained period where you felt like KJ couldn't play, whether it was injury like we saw Saturday or taken out or whatever, that Cade Fortin would be the one in. And that's exactly what we saw in that second half. Was he came in, was 4 of 10 in that fourth quarter, essentially. And, I guess we'll learn maybe a bit more today from Sam Pittman. I don't know why he would give up too much information going into this game with Mississippi State, but we'll learn maybe perhaps more about where KJ's at when he meets with the media later today.
It's kind of weird. Malik dropped all his Arkansas stuff off his Instagram and then put a picture late last night of him in an Arkansas uniform. I don't know what again, social media people pay attention to that more than they ever have, but there was a lot made of that.
Too much made.
This decision to do that or whatever. But I think if I was Malik Hornsby, I'd probably be frustrated, but that would only motivate me to try and get better throwing the football or doing whatever reason that they have Cade Fortin above you. I guess work on that.
Well, I mean, I think Cade Fortin, from what I'm told, from the people that have watched him more in practice, he's the best passing arm we have on the team. I mean, let's not sit here and pretend like KJ doesn't have a ways to go in throwing the football. KJ's a great running quarterback, and that's what makes him the best quarterback we have. But he's not the best passer. I mean, from everyone that's seen it, I hadn't seen enough of Cade Fortin other than what we saw Saturday to really understand what all he brings to the table. But we saw missed passes with KJ. We've seen him. We know that's not his area of strength. His strength is running the football and running that RPO and doing some things that make people miss and read wrong. So Fortin's the guy that if you may have to, if it was him long term, you might be looking at some, I won't say change the offense, but transformation, different kinds of plays called that would fit his strengths more. I bet if you could talk to the wide receivers, Fortin would be kind of their guy in that regard because he throws balls they'd like to catch.
Oh, there's probably more of a chance that they're throwing the football if Cade's in there as well. Right. I mean, there's KJ. Exactly right. If KJ's in there, KJ's either handing the ball off, taking himself, or throwing it. I don't think Cade's going to be doing much of that read option and then pulling it. He's probably either going to hand it off or be throwing it. It's still an RPO because you have that run-pass action, but there's less options for him running. And I guess in situations he'll need to pull the football if he's the one that has to go against Mississippi State on Saturday. But this is something that, again, we'll monitor. Coach Pittman will be with the media today at 12 and then again at 2 on Wednesday, and we'll tell you about what he had to say later on at halftime in Ruskin and Zach's. Shannon Alma texting. He says he thought the team looked out of sorts from the start and that they were almost intimidated by Alabama. Well, the opening drive, they did get an interception. I thought that got the crowd riled up. Everyone was going. They got 1 or 2 first downs to keep them at least out of the back of the end zone for the offense and had to punt. There were times Max had 1 or 2 good punts, and then he had some bad ones. And, man, Kool-Aid McKistory, we were telling you all about it. He's one of the – and you kept trying to throw it on him, and he kept batting the balls down. I know he had that one PI call because he was trying to get the signal from the defensive coordinator on what if they're man-to-man or zone. But, I mean, that kid can play, and there was 1 or 2 times I thought it was going to be a house call, and some guy tackled him at the very end before he made that last move.
Neither team was great in special teams. He was awesome in punt returns. That might give Alabama the edge, even with a bad snap on that fumble. Arkansas made a field goal. Bama missed a field goal. Special teams wasn't just spot on for either team. But, man, the way he returned those punts, he had 3 for 77 yards. That was, I won't say flip the field, but it certainly set Alabama up with some easier drives on 3 occasions.
Yeah, and you've got to be able to corral. I don't know who Mississippi State has back there. I do know that we were talking about McKistory's ability before this week in Arkansas. I know Scott found, and I don't want to be too hard on special teams because you executed a flawless onside kick. Cam Little, I guess, hit 1 field goal if I remember that right. And so I don't want to be too hard on special teams, but that particular area is where they did not have any success in at all.
And it didn't cost you the game or anything like that, but I don't know that when you go back and you look at it, I'm not sure that you won the battle there. So
you did not, yeah.
Hey, Burton Pools and Spas has a truckload of hot spring spas right now, and there's no better way to start or end your day than in the warm, bubbly water of a hot spring spa. They got big savings and discounts. For the last couple of years with supply chain issues, you didn't just go down and pick one out and they bring it to your house in a few days. Well, we're kind of back to that, where they've got a good selection. They got great pricing right now with discounts up to $4,900 and easy financing that payments as low as $80 a month. If you want the absolute best spa or jacuzzi or whatever you call them at your house on the market, it's from Hot Springs. They're at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, or at burtonpools.com.
Chuck's going to get in here next. Stay with us.
ESPN Arkansas's coverage behind enemy lines in Starkville, Mississippi is presented by Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. A law firm offering reasonably priced legal services to our hometown community.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using an Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Tommy Craft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. The friendly pros at Pascal have been serving Arkansas for more than 50 years. And as the weather changes, make sure your system is ready with a Pascal protection plan. Call the pros at Pascal and get a seasonal tune-up, discounted services, and priority scheduling. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Espanol.
When was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while, or if you haven't had the best of experiences with dentistry, meet Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry. Give her a call at 494-7600. They'll take care of it all. Crowns, bonding, dentures, bleaching, and cosmetic dentistry. Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry at 807 South 21st. Call for an appointment today. 494-7600. That's 494-7600.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
When I'm governor, we will educate kids, not indoctrinate them with the left's agenda. We will empower parents, not bureaucrats. And we will prepare students for the workforce, not government dependency. I believe every kid growing up in this state should have access to a quality education, a good job, and a better life right here in Arkansas.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders will fight back against Biden and the radical left's agenda.
Inflation is a pay cut for every Arkansan, and Biden's policies are only making it worse. As governor, I'll begin phasing out the state income tax to give you a pay raise and unleash bold reforms to make Arkansas one of the best places to start and grow a business, creating thousands of new, high-paying jobs.
Fighting back against the radical left, empowering Arkansans. Sarah Huckabee Sanders for governor. Paid for by Sarah for Governor.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Ask Shelter agents Randy Milam or Brad Howe about a free insurance review.
The Kawasaki Good Times Demo Tour is back on the road and making a stop at Wheeler Power Sports on October 7th. Halftime will be live on location from 11 to 2. Experience your favorite Kawasaki motorcycles firsthand and join in on the good times with demos, giveaways, and more. Wheeler Power Sports is stoked to bring the Kawasaki Good Times Demo Tour on October 7th and October 8th. Bike availability subject to change. Motorcycle license required for test drivers. See WheelerPowersports.com for more details.
So long, paperwork. See ya, hassles. Goodbye, not knowing. When you're ready for a modern mortgage experience, say hello to the Arvest Home for Me app. With Home for Me, you can get pre-qualified, upload paperwork, and track your loan's progress, all from your phone, and all with the support of a dedicated lender. Home for Me simplifies the mortgage process, and it's only from Arvest Bank. Goodbye, limits. Hello, possibilities. Arvest Bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Play action, going to throw over the middle. Pass is intercepted. Intercepted by McLaughlin down at the 1 yard line. It was tipped. Third pick for the LSU transfer. The Razorback defense comes through.
Chuck, that's where we open up the show this morning. Is we're talking about forcing turnovers all week. Dwight McLaughlin does it on the first possession, and you thought it might have been Arkansas's day, but unfortunately, fourth quarter, different story.
Way to end Alabama's possession there, I guess. The only bad part is that you're at your own 1 yard line. You got to go 99 yards, but sometimes you just get beat by a better team. And I thought Tom Murphy had a great lead line in the Democrat-Gazette yesterday. It said, "Dynasties don't die easy." And I think that's what we saw Saturday. Alabama's still Alabama, and there's still a gap, and we're better than we were, but we're not as good as them.
It's a Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, a lifetime warranty on every new unit they sell. It's at Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. Chuck, we was hoping we'd see the gap maybe narrow more consistently through the game with the line of scrimmage play. That was one area where the Hogs had moments, but they didn't have the consistent push at the line of scrimmage, the ability to get to Bryce Young early and later to Milroe. That was one area we thought would be a strength that turned out not to be so much.
Well, Alabama, again, was just better in all phases. I mean, they were better in all phases of the game. I thought Arkansas played a little tight at the beginning. I still think there's the intimidation factor with Alabama. I mean, you can talk about it until you're blue in the face, but I still think it's there. I think we saw it early in the ballgame Saturday, and by the time – this is what happens a lot of times when teams play Alabama. By the time they get their feet underneath them, they're playing catch-up. You're behind the 8 ball, and you have no margin for error. And Alabama's going to make plays. I mean, Alabama's Alabama, and they're going to make plays, and you've got to score points, and you don't have a lot of margin for error. And I think sometimes when the errors begin to mount, during that period where you're just still trying to get your feet underneath you, you can find yourself in a bad spot. And I thought that's what happened early in the game. You hate to see anyone get hurt, and I really do, but football is a game of attrition. People do get hurt, and sometimes it's your best player, and that's what happened to Alabama. But, their offensive line won them the ball game. That's what happens with good teams when key players go out. Your line of scrimmage takes over, and that's what wins you the game. And, some of the numbers are skewed. I didn't think Alabama all day just pushed Arkansas around. They had 225 yards, I think, on third down plays. A lot of their offensive numbers came in the last quarter, but Alabama was better, and there's just no way around that.
Well, I'll give Arkansas credit. They fought back, and, I mean, that could have been a game, and I know you still lost by 20-something points, but that could have been a game you got railed and destroyed. But I mean, Sam Pittman with another good special teams play against Alabama. I heard him talk about it after the game. They had a fake field goal that they were considering dialed up, but that was perfect execution by Bates on that onside kick, Chuck.
Yeah, and if you're going to beat Alabama, you generally have to have a play like that. I mean, there's you think about last year down there. You think about obviously the play they made with Bates, and other teams do the same thing. I mean, when you think about some of the games, Hugh Freeze gave them a run for their money there for a while. Ole Miss seemed to have their number there for a couple of years in terms of, doing some things to them nobody else could. And, sometimes things like that happen. But, I think you can fall into a trap sometimes of trying to measure how good your team is based on how you play Alabama. I don't think that's always it's a barometer for where you are in terms of the best teams in the country. But, only wishful thinking would have made you believe Arkansas was among the 5 or 10 best teams in the country going into that game. There's a gap. And, if you measure yourself against Alabama and Georgia, you're probably going to be disappointed. But they've still got a chance to win every other game.
Chuck, I got to tell you, when that ball rolled back to the punter and he had to dive on that at the 4 and Arkansas was on –
I felt it too.
I was sitting there. Well, with Young out – this is the day. This is finally it. I mean, for a brief, and it was brief, but there for a moment in the third quarter, I thought, well, the Stars are getting ready to line up here in Fayetteville.
Yeah, I mean, it was the third down plays. I mean, that was what was so frustrating. Obviously the run by Milroe changed the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, whatever momentum we had was gone. Flipped the field. Alabama was back in business after that play. And, I mean, they just had control from that point on. And those are the kinds of plays teams like that make. I mean, we forget Milroe's a 5-star guy. You do see, though, even with 5 stars, there's some bright lights when you get in that game. And Milroe was not a great passer, but he knew how to win, and they knew how to block for him, and they, went with what they do best.
I think they call those sudden change plays. I think.
Yeah, I mean, there was a sudden change play. We talked about sudden change plays on the pregame with Pittman, and that was sure a sudden change play.
Well, it was. And then when Gibbs went, 76, not long after that for the score, that was when it was
Start
over.
the bus there.
Yep,
You can start the bus there.
877-377-6963 is our number. Hot Take Monday. Chuck Barrett, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, and Danny in Russellville. Go ahead, Danny.
Good morning, guys. Clearly Alabama's better than us, but you're going to have to look back as the year goes on, this Texas A&M game where it looked like we were the better team. We just kind of coughed that one up. Arkansas played hard. I mean, they didn't play smart. Now, I think we had 4 plays of 70 yards, something like that. Most of those plays, we over-pursued. I mean, we had the whole team on one side of the field, and when they cut back, there was nobody there. I mean, it's just like 60 yards of clear sailing, and 3rd and 15, 3rd and 30, this has been happening too much. Defensive coaches are going to have to get their act together on that. We're not that bad against the run. We just over-pursued. And, Ty, I saw you with a cowboy hat on a couple weeks ago. Man, I think you need to go with that look because you might get you a country girl. Quit going after these high-maintenance girls. I think that's the trick, Ty.
Yeah.
You guys have a good day.
Thanks, Danny.
Danny with a little advice.
Sage advice for Ty there.
I'm going to tell you, though, don't sit in front of my wife with your cowboy hat. We had some guy that had his 10-gallon hat on in front of her, and she that was a little frustrating for her on Saturday there in the stadium. So,
well, why didn't you cause a scene, Tom?
Well, I just I just didn't. So, and this
probably a good move.
Probably a good move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they pack him in. I rememred why quickly.
Is he bigger than you? Is that what
no, he actually wasn't. Which is hard to believe. I know in most cases, but actually he wasn't. But he had the overdue haircut look as you much do. So,
I felt for the fans Saturday. I know everybody was jacked up and ready to go, and it was a great atmosphere, just like we thought it would be. When McLaughlin got that pick early in the ball game. Wasn't as loud as Wingo, but it was pretty loud.
It was.
And, I thought the crowd came to play. And it was we watched a great football team beat a very good football team, and that's going to happen.
That pick had happened and had been more obvious to more of the stadium because it wasn't an obvious play unless maybe you were on the north end of the stadium. I was on more towards the south. I was about the 15-yard line towards the south end of the stadium. It took you a few seconds to realize exactly what had transpired all the way down there at the goal line. I think the stadium would maybe have exploded to that level you're referencing with Wingo.
Well, you got to train your eyes sometimes. You got to be able to go from the field back and forth to the scoreboard, so you can see everything exactly as it happens. That's hard to do, but it was it was a great play first off, and when you make a play like that early in a game that's not decided yet, you feel like it is a big momentum play. But, again, you got 99 yards in front of you when you make that play, and you still got a long way to go.
Yeah, and they came out, and that first play, they got a good push, got them out of kind of the shadow of the goal line, if you will, and, sustained a drive until they had that illegal formation where they had 5 in the backfield after Knox had went in motion across, and they still had a negative play. That penalty was declined. That play was negative. Something was just wrong with that play. And then from there on, that drive derailed.
I was going to say Hazelwood, I think, got blown up on that play. McKistry, Landers missed a block, and McKistry. I'll tell you what, Chuck, we were talking about him a little bit. That Kool-Aid McKistry is one of the best players I've seen in the defensive backfield for Bama. I mean, he's in that Dre Kirkpatrick type of category. He's unbelievable.
Oh, he's a great player. I mean, he's going to be in the NFL. You know, Saban coaches the corners, and they're a very good group. They get the best ones out there, and then they get coached like crazy when they get there. So, you know, he's a good player. He's going to be in the NFL. Alabama gets the cream of the crop, guys. And, you know, again, how many teams out there when their starting quarterback goes out, how many teams bring a 5-star in to replace him? Not many. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was going to say that Browse recruited him. He got offered by Arkansas, Chuck, and they actually I saw them have a conversation after the game, and just thought that was kind of a cool connection too.
You know, most of these coaches, we talked about this with Coach Pittman on his radio show Wednesday night, that you know, most of these coaches know every player out there, or at least the vast majority of them, because they've either recruited them or they've decided not to recruit them, or, you know, they know about them. So, I mean, there's a connection there, and I'm sure Jalen Milroe is everybody'd like to have a 5-star quarterback coming in.
Yeah. Well, Ty and that cowboy hat are headed behind enemy lines this week to Stark Vegas. Our coverage on the road this week presented by Mock Legal Solutions, a law firm offering reasonably priced legal services. In most cases, no hourly billing, know exactly how much you will pay, and you will never be billed for emails, texts, and calls. That's Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price. Danny gave you some real advice. Wear that cowboy hat down there. Maybe you find you a country girl.
Chuck, I was told that the two places I need to go, the most response from Arkansas fans that have been there, I need you to verify this. Have you ever had a burger from Mugshots Bar and Grill or barbecue from Little Dewey's? At either of those
I've
places?
had both.
Okay.
I've had both.
Are they good?
Little Dewey's is great. Little Dewey's is their, I mean, that's their barbecue place, and it is good. And Mugshots is a good place to go hang out. A good, you know, young man like you, Ty, cowboy hat, flowing blonde hair. I mean, you should be able to rack up in there.
I would hope so. Are they receptive to red, or I'm not going to wear maroon?
You know, I'm going to tell you the truth about Starkville. Everybody complains about it. I mean, you know, Skip Burtman used to say it's an old Indian word for trailer park, and you know, they've taken a lot of heat over the years. They're really nice people. I've you know, in football, generally we don't stay in Starkville. Generally, you stay in Columbus, Mississippi, or, you know, stayed in a lot of places. But in baseball, we always did. And the people there are really nice. And they bend over backwards to be nice because they know that not everybody's excited about being there. But, Ty, I'm going to tell you, for a young man, Starkville's not a bad place to go. You play your cards right, and you'll have a good weekend.
Cotton District, yeah. Our plans.
The Cotton District's good. Cotton District's good.
We'll
what Chuck is saying here is Stark Vegas is about a 5, so they got to have a good personality to make them about a 7.
That's right.
Hey,
Stark
really
Vegas.
Good, you know, a little chunky, you know, a little short and chunky, but great personality. That's Stark Vegas.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
A
lot of fun. Yeah.
Chuck, I think I was showing you all this last week. The Airbnb that we're staying at has a Stark Vegas like what's it called? What is it? A drawing of something.
Illustration.
Yeah, a mural or something like that. And it's got a puppy in Stark Vegas. It's like Vegas. It's actually kind of cool. So I'm pretty.
You know, used to they got mad when you called it Stark Vegas,
and now they like it.
Now, well, they've embraced it. I mean, you look at the hump. I mean, at the end of the floor at the hump at their basketball arena, it says, "Welcome to Stark Vegas."
Yeah.
So I mean, they've kind of embraced it over the years, and it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Hey, let me say this. I'm glad this is a day game because I've been to the biggest stadiums in college football, guys. There's not a harder place to win on Saturday night than Starkville, Mississippi. I mean, it is a hard place to win. I still think one of the 2 or 3 best wins of the Petrino era was when we won down there 38-31, and I think one of the biggest wins, arguably the biggest win, of Sam Pittman's era was that first conference victory when we got that monkey off our back and we won down there on Saturday night. That's a hard place to play on Saturday night. I'm glad we're playing at 11 in the morning.
We should get Tylenol as another sponsor for the road trip to deal with those cowbells. That's what we need is a trade out with some pain relief this week for our ears.
Yeah, I'm going to come back and you guys are going to be trying to talk to me on Monday and I'm not going to be able to hear what you're saying.
We're not going to be trying to talk to you.
On Monday morning during the show?
Nah.
Great response. All right, Jimmy and Conway, go ahead, man.
Top of the morning to you, fellas. Hey, when you take your Chevy Impala and you want to drag race a Corvette, these things are going to happen. You know, it's just
that engine's going to fall out.
It's a good comparison. We're just not. We don't have the same engine, and people don't understand that. I got friends that are just jumping off the cliffs. I mean, thinking we're horrible, and they're going to beat a lot of people like that, not just us. But man, I just don't know. I'm more upset with the A&M loss than I am with the Bama loss. A&M looked horrible Saturday, and I think, how in the world did we ever lose to them? But anyway, thanks, guys.
They don't have it.
Well, see, I think that's the point right there. Pardon me just for a second. I think that's the point. If Arkansas had beaten Texas A&M, I think what happened Saturday, we'd turn and say, hey, we got beat by a better team. Let's go beat Mississippi State. The A&M game may be the game, like Auburn was last year, that you look back at the end of the season, because I don't think A&M's done losing. And you may look back at the end of the season, probably will, and say, man, that's one that got away. That's one we should have won, kind of like the Auburn game last year. And I do think that has something to do with the reaction to this ball game, is that it comes on the heels of a game you should have won, and it comes right before a game against a team that just dismantled the team that you feel like you should have beat. So I just think all that compounds itself a little bit.
877-377-6963. Chuck, we've gotten a few texts. A lot of people want to know about kind of this whole Cade Ford and Malik Hornsby dynamic. I know we'll get an update from Coach Pittman later on with KJ Jefferson. Kind of your thoughts on him going to Fordham right out of the gate.
Well, I was not surprised, because I think Fortin's been the number 2 guy for a long time. And, the one thing that I'll say, and Coach Pittman said this, and lots of other coaches too have said it, guys, the players decide the depth chart. The players decide the depth chart. And I know that I've heard people say, well, they should have put him in the game. If you don't watch practice every day, you don't know. And I know that sounds harsh, but I don't know how else to put it. I mean, you can't base your judgment on something that you watch for 3 hours on Saturday. You just can't. They're not trying to lose the game. I mean, they're not trying to lose the game. They're not trying to make a point. They're trying to put the guy in there that they think can move the team and get some points. And at that juncture of the game, Arkansas was going to have to throw the football. Cade Fortin's a better passer, number 1, than Malik is. And but he's been the number 2 guy for a while. We've just not seen the number 2 guy until this past Saturday.
I did get a kick out of when Hutch asked him about it. Here's what Coach said.
Well, that decision's been made for a while. So he's our number 2 quarterback, so we put him in there.
That's what exactly
and again,
what you
guys,
said.
The players decide the depth chart. So by practice, what happens on the field, how they react to one another, the coaches just fill it out. The players decide.
So when we've gotten a few texts, and I've saw some stuff on. So why is the depth chart not read that way all along? And
I don't know the answer. Well, but I will say this, and it's not just with us. Everybody does this. Your depth chart and your participation chart oftentimes do not look identical. A lot of times the depth chart that a school releases will be the same one 6 weeks in as the one that they released right before the opening day. And it's the same reason that coaches don't disclose injuries. It's the same reason that coaches are always, they're always a little bit reticent to say what somebody's physical condition really is. And you think those other staffs don't read these note packages? I promise you, by the time they release them around noon on Monday, somebody on the other team's staff read it front to back by 1 o'clock. And so, that's part of it too. But, I know a lot of people thought he was going to come in, and I understand that based on, what you saw last year. But I think those around it knew that if KJ went out, that Fortin was going to be the guy that came in.
Let's go south. Welcome in Charlie and Camden. Go ahead, Charlie.
Hey, guys. I'm listening to you, agreeing with all your points. What I think, have you ever watched the game, Chuck? I know you've watched a lot of them, and you don't want to say it on there, but you ever watched the game and you ever felt like you're just watching the game and the other team is just better, and Alabama was just better than Arkansas. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, especially Saturday. Now, Arkansas is better than Texas A&M, so we should be sitting here at 4-1. But, even with all the ebbs and flows and, Arkansas getting the onside kick, and I never felt like, I knew they might could make it a game, with Bryce going out, but I never felt like at any point, Alabama even felt threatened by Arkansas, and we never really, put much pressure on them. We cut it to 5, but then obviously, the play that broke our back, I think, is the 77-yard run by the quarterback, and we have a spy on him. We're in position to make the play, and we can't make it.
Charlie, let me push back a little bit. I'm going to be honest, guys. They're in 3rd and 15. They just had a horrible snap on that punt. I thought Arkansas was about to win that football game. I mean, they were out of sorts. They just had a false start on that drive, and then Milroe made a play, Chuck.
Well, the one thing that I did think at 28-23 was you'd have to score more than another time to win the game. I didn't think Alabama was going to finish at 28. I felt like at that point Arkansas might be in a position to shoot it out with them in the fourth quarter, but I even when it was 28-23, I thought Alabama would score 2 more touchdowns. I still thought Arkansas would have to have a fourth quarter like they had against South Carolina and Missouri State, where they just it's just up and down. Alabama scores, Arkansas scores, and it just wasn't that way.
Could have happened. I wonder. You were talking about the bobbled or just a horrible snap. It almost looked like that was they were trying to fake, and Toa, who was the guy, not the gunner, but the guy that signaled the snap, that ball was supposed to go to him, and he didn't react to it. Didn't know that there was a fake punt that Saban had.
I wouldn't think they'd run a fake right there, but what I wondered, and I've not seen the end zone look. I don't know if it hit his hip. I don't know if it hit his leg. That happened with Stromberg down at A&M, and I don't know what happened. I haven't seen the end zone camera,
and I don't know if this was an effect or not. But it did happen right in front of the students, right in front of the band, maybe the loudest part of the stadium. I don't know if communication was somewhat of an issue as well, just because of where the play happened.
I thought both sides, not just the students. I thought the people on the other side in the south end and down there in the Cardinal Club down there. I thought that was. That's the noisiest end of the stadium now, and I thought they were affected by that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey, does your business have a new service or product that you need a website for? Maybe you've just started a new small business. Matchstick Studios, they've been around for a long time right now. They can create you a great-looking website in a matter of days, not weeks or months, for just $95 and no other upfront cost. They've got a professional team of designers and copywriters that can make your site look great and help you get new customers and new leads for your business. 479-755-3043 or go to modularorange.com.
So a lot of calls and texts to get to. It is a Hot Take Monday. Feel free to jump in here at 877-377-6963. Guys, I also want to touch on this. We are now at a point where there's been 5 Power 5 jobs that head coaches have been fired at. Over $60 million in buyouts distributed. Scott Frost, Paul Chris, Jeff Collins at Georgia Tech, Carl Durrell at Colorado, and then Herm Edwards at Arizona State. That's really unprecedented. You know why, Tommy? You referenced it last week. It's that early signing period, man.
Yeah, they're worried about that, and but it tells you that, hey, the money's not the problem that these schools want to make their donors at least think it is. So there's a lot of meat on that bone we can chew on later in the show.
And the Dallas Cowboys got another victory against a divisional opponent, the Washington Commanders. Cooper Rush, undefeated as a starter. Now, Jerry Jones had some comments about Dak Prescott. Still a lot to get to here. Hour number 2 next.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling the cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
The Burton Pools and Spas Truckload of Savings event is going on now.
We have truckloads of Hot Springs hot tubs in stock and ready to deliver. We'll have you soaking in warm, bubbly water just in time for fall. Save up to $4,900 off on select models. Get easy financing with payments as low as $80 a month with approved credit. Come see us at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith for the Truckload of Savings hot tub event, or visit burtonpools.com for more information.
The new Lotto game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is creating new traditions for our players, like Colton and Katie from Hot Springs.
We play our anniversary. Yep, 12/15, always.
And then I rub the ticket on his bald head for luck.
Yeah, she does.
Your numbers, your game. Play Lotto every Wednesday and Saturday for your chance to match 6 and get rich. Only $2 per play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Hey, it works.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. Go Paschal.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
This is Abby with Davis Floor Covering. Get your home or office looking its best for this football season with new flooring from Davis Floor Covering. Whether it's new carpet, hardwood flooring, ceramic, porcelain tile, or luxury vinyl planks, Davis Floor Covering can help you with all your flooring needs with brands such as Bow Floors and flooring supplies from Maupe. And let's get started on beautifying your office or home. We even do countertops. Be sure to check us out on Facebook. Davis Floor Covering with 3 locations to serve you: Fort Smith, Springdale, and Tahlequah. Call 452-4808.
Shop local online. Hi, this is Melissa Vitale, owner of True Grit Renting Company in Fort Smith. Did you know you can now shop our store online? So whether you're in Alma, Greenwood, or Salisaw, you can find your perfect shoes from True Grit anywhere. Short on time but coming to Fort Smith anyway? Save on delivery and select our pickup in store option while checking out. You can find our store under the Shop tab at TrueGritRunningCO.com. That's TrueGritRunningCO.com. WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Our weather for today, high pressure covering all of the Gulf Coast states and the southern plains, so we get sunshine, our afternoon high about 85. Overnight it'll be clear with our low in the low 50s, and then a sunny day coming up on Tuesday. Looks like we'll be in the low 80s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The Hit That Line podcast network is now available on Pandora Music and Podcasts. Just open your app or browser and search Hit That Line. KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Nick Saban and Sam Pittman will make their way to midfield. The Hogs gave them all they wanted for 3 quarters. Alabama opened it up in the 4th, and the Crimson Tide remain undefeated. They improved to 5-0 on the year. Hogs dropped to 3-2. Bama wins the ball game 49-26.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studio.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir. I know we've been focused a lot on the Arkansas loss to Alabama, and deservedly so. We're still going to talk about that this morning. But there are some other SEC games, some interesting ones, including Missouri taking Georgia to the brink. Mm-hmm. That was the odd game of the conference of the weekend. I want to touch on some of these games coming up in just a sec.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, a mobile service shuttle, and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels. It's all at Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
So A&M goes to Starkville and just gets clobbered. Will Rogers and company looked really good in that football game. They went 42-24, and honestly, it was a lot. That's closer than it actually was because it was much more than that. That's one of the big games. Auburn loses to LSU, closer than I anticipated on that. Probably the biggest one, Ole Miss edges out Kentucky, guys. 22-19. Really, defense was the purveyor in Lane Kiffin's team on Saturday.
Well, Kentucky gave that game away. I mean, I'm sure Kentucky went home to Lexington feeling kind of like we did flying home from Dallas. That we should have won that game. Kentucky, I mean, what'd they lose? 3 fumbles? 3 turnovers in Ole Miss territory late in the game, fumbled it away, and Kentucky should have won that game, but Ole Miss did, and they're 5-0, and you can't do any better than that through 5 games. So they, they're going to be good too. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we've talked about it before, and it's a broken record. I mean, every week you're playing somebody that can beat you.
So what's your perspective of the West now? Alabama won, and then Chuck, who's your number
Alabama
2?
and a great big jumble of,
exactly.
I won't say jumble mess, but it's Alabama and everybody else.
I mean, you could still make a case for Arkansas despite the loss to Bama and to A&M. I don't think you can make much of a case for A&M with Smith's injury. No. You now make a case for Ole Miss, and I don't think LSU's out of the running for this either. So I think there's about 3 teams right there that you could make a path or a case for them to finish second in this division.
Well, everybody's, it's all going to be decided. And the thing is, when every one of those teams play one another, it's basically going to be a toss-up game. I don't care what the line says. It's basically going to be a toss-up game. And, LSU and Auburn, we watched them Saturday night. They're about the same. Ole Miss played, maybe the second, third best team in the East, depending upon Tennessee, and they managed to eke out a win. But, to me, the most significant game was the way Mississippi State beat Texas A&M. I mean, it was 42-17, as you said, Ty, and A&M scored at the end. And A&M's got issues, but I also think Mississippi State's good. I mean, Mississippi State's a good football team, and If you were picking who's the second best team in the West today, this morning on Monday, Mississippi State probably get a lot of votes.
Mississippi State is in that third year of Mike Leach. If you go back and look at his track record in Pullman and Texas Tech, he typically has pretty good third years. And this is, I think, a season where a lot of Mississippi State fans, maybe not outside of Starkville, there were expectations, but I think a lot of people inside that state realize what they had. Defensively, they're really good too. I think that's what's underrated about this football team we're talking about in the Bulldogs, that I know that you got a lot of offense you got to defend, but defensively they're going to be able to get after Arkansas as well.
They get after the quarterback. I mean, they get you in a passing situation, and they pin their ears back. I mean, they did that against A&M a good bit, and, hey, they're good. I mean, Leach is a good coach. He's weird, and, I think he plays to that weird personality. I think he plays that up and keeps him from having to talk about football.
Yeah.
And, he can talk about all that stuff with the media and never has to talk about football, and I think he likes that.
Hey, BetUS back for another year of college and NFL action with the industry's biggest sign-up bonus, up to 200%. BetUS offers their members the chance to cash in on all your favorite sports. Sign up at BetUS.com or call 800-79-BETUS. Give them the code ESP in Arkansas for up to 200% in sign-up bonuses. That's BetUS, where the game begins.
JW's in London. Go ahead, JW.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen, and you too, Ty. I wake up this morning not feeling like I felt last Monday because I learned what I needed to learn about the team. They got beat by a better team, but they played them tough and they played them hard. But what I really loved about the team, and it bodes well for our future, I didn't see an ounce of quit in the team. When they were down as bad as they were in the first quarter, and even down to the final plays, there was no quit in that team. And so, over at, Stark Vegas, they better be ready because we're going to be coming. And it's kind of funny because before we got blessed to get Pittman, Mike Leach was the coach I wanted for Arkansas. So I'm looking forward to the game, and you just play them one by one, and I think the season's going to turn out okay. We are not quite where the program needs to be yet, but we're making serious progress. Anyway, thank y'all.
2 years ago, this was the start of Sam Pittman's wins at Arkansas. If you remember, KJ Costello ripped up LSU the week before, and they thought they were going to shred Arkansas too. Instead, Greg Brooks takes one of the opening plays back to the house, and Arkansas either got 2 or 3 picks in that game, Chuck, but that was a huge, monumental day for this football program at Starkville 2 years ago.
Yeah, it showed that you were headed in the right direction. I thought it was a significant win because it showed that you were making progress. You got the monkey off your back, beat a pretty good team, and, did it in what I'd call, a football way. You didn't fluke them. You didn't trick them. You didn't have, a strange play happen where you walked out of there with a weird kind of win. I just think they went down there and beat them, and I thought it was a significant win.
Ed Costello winning the Heisman after week 1.
Right. That's exactly right. And, a lot of people thought probably what they're thinking today, that, we're going to go down there and they're going to throw the football all over the field. And Arkansas found a way to defend them and win that night. Mississippi State's good, but now, guys, they're not Alabama. And, we should remember that.
Yeah. The feeling leaving the stadium Saturday was much different, I think, for most fans. People were mad after A&M because you felt like you were the better team and you gave the game away in many aspects. I think people exactly what we've heard from several callers and what we've talked about and everything we've had with fan interaction this weekend, you just lined up and got whipped on Saturday. I think people live with that. It's the week before where I think people are a lot more angry.
And I think that compounds things this morning. As I said last hour, I think if you'd beaten Texas A&M and we'd watched Saturday's ball game and it ended up 49-26, we'd have walked to the car thinking we're 4-1, we're fine, we got beat by Alabama, everything's going to be okay. But it's that loss to Texas A&M that I think still lingers with a lot of people, and I understand all that. That's how it works. And unfortunately for Arkansas, the game that everybody, feels like he gave away came early. and in a situation where you didn't expect it to happen. And so I think that compounds things today a little bit.
All right, the Morning Rush daily question coming up in just a few minutes. Hey, if you're going to the lake or the river and you want to do some cold water bass fishing, maybe on Table Rock or Beaver Lake, make sure you take along the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating small schools of shad. You can work from the top to the bottom and help you whoop up on some bass here this weekend or this week. It's the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. I find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Also got a funny Mike Leach clip. Chuck was talking about some of the stuff he says outside of football. He's talking about elopement. We'll tell you about it next.
ESPN Arkansas's coverage behind enemy lines in Starkville, Mississippi is presented by Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. A law firm offering reasonably priced legal services to our hometown community.
No matter which road you take, the Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. Amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's going to believe this.
And each day ends binge watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra. Build yours today. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com for your ready-for-anything Toyota Tundra. The aggressively styled rugged Tundra is ready to be loaded up, and you can head off to wherever your path leads. Toyota. Let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
Looking for a better rate of return on your savings? Arvest Bank is ready to help with great rates on certificates of deposit. For a very limited time, you can earn 2.27% APY on a 7-month CD or 2.52% APY on a 14-month CD with a minimum deposit of $10,000. Seriously, what are you waiting for? Hurry into Arvest before this deal is gone. Annual percentage yield available for a limited time only. Other rates and terms are available. Member FDIC.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Beat the heat, book a time in their hitting bays with the TrackMan technology, or play around on one of the many courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks today and schedule a lesson using the simulator. For the best selection of clubs, shoes, and apparel, stop by the Golf Nut today. 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 stop shop for everything golf.
You know, fall in the natural state really is the best. Football, fantastic weather, and some of the country's most beautiful scenery. At Rath Auto Resources, we love fall because prices are falling on all of our Rath Road-ready vehicles, making this the time to save on your nicer, newer car. And it's so easy. Just call, click, or come by. Let one of our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do all the work. It's their job to help you find just the right car, get you extra for your trade, take care of all the financing, and make sure you leave in a car of your dreams at a price and payment that fits your budget. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. Philip and his team know how to take care of your car. More importantly, they know how to take care of you with convenient, affordable total car care and savings like half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Why wait? Start enjoying your fall now in a nicer, newer car from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
September is here, and at Frank World Furniture, we want you to get this month started off right. So not only do we have no sales tax, but we are marking down every piece of furniture, bedroom furniture, mattresses, and dining sets in the store to unbelievable prices. That's right, marking all furniture down, and no sales tax. In-store, no credit check financing, family owned and service after the sale. All American-made sofas, love seats, sectionals, and recliners at Frank World Furniture. Best seats in the house.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires,
and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Studies have shown that people who can count to 5 without saying 1 or 3 can also enjoy the new 2-4-5 breakfast deal at Hardee's. Choose from a sausage and egg biscuit, country fried steak, or biscuit and gravy, now for less. That means more made-from-scratch biscuits for me. Bite into the new 2-for-5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price of participation may vary.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code. Lesson 86. This is how you say, gee willikers, it's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. And that's it for today. Bud Light. Crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
Pretty easy, simple question. What stood out to you in Saturday's game? 877-377-6963. Tommy, go and hit this one first. What stood out in Saturday's game?
I don't think you can look much past the way Alabama ran the ball, and they're going to do that to a lot of teams this year. But, when you talk about where the game was decided, it was Arkansas's inability to sustain drives, but it was really Alabama's ability to run the ball the way they did. So I guess Arkansas's rush defense, which you expected to be better against the run. Everybody's talked about the passing yards they've given up, Chuck, but in the end, it was really the run yards that really drove the nail in the coffin.
Really, the only thing that surprised me was, I thought Arkansas might have their feet underneath them a little bit sooner. I thought they looked a little, I don't know that dazed is the right way to put it, but you could tell that things were different. They knew they were playing a team that was not going to give them any margin for error. And I thought Arkansas was a little tight at the start. And that was really the only surprise. Alabama's still Alabama, guys.
And I thought the interception there early might have settled them in. And then they got a couple first downs before the drive stalled out. If they go on to score there, maybe they do have their feet under them. But you're right. They seemed a little skittish.
Alabama doesn't give up very many 99-yard drives. And the idea that, for you to be able to really seize the momentum requires you to go 99 yards. That's a pretty tall order right there. I think when you look at where they were on the field and you look at who you're playing, for them to get into a spot where, even if you have to punt, which ultimately they did, you're better off in terms of field position. The thing that you've got to guard for, even after a big play like that, is that you don't, in the process, begin to lose the battle of field position. So I wasn't disappointed that they didn't drive 99 yards. I didn't know if they could, to be honest with you. But I thought all things considered, for them to get out and get a punt away and, not lose the field position battle right off the bat was progress.
And that's one of those little breaks that you don't think about till the final analysis that needed to go your way. That interception needed to carry him into the end zone and get a touchback, so you're at the 20, and it just, it's just not a break.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, that's a break you needed. It was a 19-yard difference in whether you get that at the 1-foot line or across the goal line. And
you also got away with clipping the Alabama wide receiver on the way to that interception that they didn't call. The ref
who ran into who? I mean, there was contact both ways, but there was a bump or a rub there on that route, no question.
I thought what stood out is Arkansas's inability to throw the football, and Coach Pittman kind of said that after.
On offense, we got to throw the ball better too. We're not. We're right now we're one-dimensional, and we've got to be able to throw and catch and protect and all those things. It's got to be better because we can't just turn around and hand the ball off and beat really good teams. We got to do better.
You go back to last year, Arkansas didn't compete with Alabama running. They competed with throwing the football. You had one rushing touchdown in that game last year, 2.6 yards per carry when you play them. I know KJ Sacks accounted for that, but how you were able to compete with the Crimson Tide is throwing the football. And guys, you didn't do that this year. KJ was 13 for 24. Tell me, what's this total yards? 155. I mean, that's just not going to be enough to beat Alabama. Just plain and simple.
No, you got to score points. You got to score points against Alabama because they're going to. And if you're going to beat them, particularly if your defense is not a great defense, you better be prepared to score 40 points. And that's, you think about last year and this year, and you think about the teams that play Alabama. I mean, your barometer, unfortunately, is you better be ready to score about 40 points. And that's hard to do. That's why I said when it got to be 28-23, my hope was that we could turn it into a shootout in the fourth quarter because and maybe Milroe would make a mistake. But you've got to be prepared to score a lot, and throwing the football is part of it, absolutely.
One of the other key parts of that game was when Alabama's defense stood tall, 3 straight runs for Arkansas that they snuffed out, including one on that 3rd and goal, and Cam ended up kicking a field goal. But Alabama's defense, I know their offense came through and it mattered, but their defense, when they needed a sack or they needed a big play, they were able to stone Arkansas too.
One thing you got to think about when we play Alabama, and this scene repeats itself in every other place in the Southeastern Conference, going in that you're going to have to play just darn near a perfect football game. I'm not sure there is a perfect one, but you got to be darn near perfect if you're going to beat Alabama. And then when you're not perfect, you go back and you analyze and you break down all the imperfections, and the bottom line is Alabama, most weeks you can go item by item, special teams, defense, offense, numbers. They're going to win all those battles. That's why they're Alabama. And, sometimes, again, you can overanalyze your team after you play Alabama because that's not the measuring stick that you're going to face most weeks.
All right, that's your Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. Schedule your service appointment today at gopascal.com.
So I want to talk about some of these college football coaches. Paul Chryst was let go by the University of Wisconsin over the weekend. So he, along with Scott Frost at Nebraska, Jeff Collins at Georgia Tech, Carl Durrell at Colorado, and then Herm Edwards, 5 Power 5 schools have committed to $60+ million in buyouts. And it's because, Tommy, they're doing this early because of that early signing period.
Well, that's part of it. Signal to the fans that, hey, we're not satisfied, make a change. Paul Chryst might have been a bit of a surprise, but when you lose to the former head coach there and Brett Bielema, that was a big win for Bielema and Barry Lunny and Illinois. These are the kind of reactions that sometimes, when you've been contemplating that happen. What I find incredible, though, is the number you gave there and the buyout number. Chuck, a lot of times these guys are talking out both sides. Hey, we need more donations. We got to keep the buildings going. We got to, have all this funding. But yet you always find the way to get rid of the coach you're dissatisfied with.
Well, I think that the lesson there is there will always be the money. And that includes Jimbo Fisher. It includes everybody else out there making big money. People say, well, they can't afford the buyout. Sure they can. Sure they can. Sometimes you can't afford not to buy them out if you want to get right down to it. Now, part of this, and I'm just going to be honest with you, part of this is I do think you've got some ADs out there that need to grow a spine. And they are puppets for a lot of these big money boosters. They always have been to a great degree, but, they don't even try to hide it now. You raise a little hell, you can get a guy fired in 2 weeks. And, this is the trend now, though. And this is a monkey see, monkey do business. And, the first time something like this happens, you can bet that there are going to be more times to follow. I think it's incredible, the money that they pay people to leave. But, with Wisconsin, there were a lot of former players, I know, last week leading up to the game that were really, expressing a lot of dissatisfaction with what was going on in that program. But, Paul Christ is a Wisconsin man. I mean, he's been there. He was there with Bielema. I mean, he's a Wisconsin guy. And he didn't stop, being a good coach just going into this season. But, you have to evaluate the overall state of your program, and recruiting's a big part of that, what you've got coming in. People keep score with recruiting now. And, hey, this is the flip side to making all that money. This is the flip side to making all that money. And, they cut you off at the knees pretty fast.
I think Arkansas boosters medal more when things are bad or when things are good. Or is it just a combination?
Everybody's fan base medals when things are bad.
It's not just the boosters. I mean,
ours
it's
do, theirs do, everybody's do. I mean, that's just part of it.
We think about some organizations that at the top, that person and things are going good, they try and they want it even more, what better. I just wonder from our fan base, we have a certain perception of what Auburn's fan base is like. I'd be curious to see what kind of other SEC fan bases think of our big-time boosters.
They think we're crazy, just like we think that they're crazy. I mean, that's what SEC football is.
Yeah.
We expect more, and everybody else expects more too. All of us have expectations that get out of whack sometimes. That's what makes it fun.
I got to tell you, I mean, I wasn't overly nervous, but I was a little nervous as I was getting to the stadium until I could read that banner behind the plane as I was making my way up. I was curious, at least to what it was saying. It turned out it was an advertisement, but. Anytime we see a plane prior to the game circling the stadium carrying a banner, you're a little bit worried, and I wondered what it said until I got up closer.
Good.
Hey, when you're good and you play in big games, people want to fly their banner around and sell you something.
Yeah.
When you're bad, they fly that plane around with a banner saying they want to fire the coach.
And when you're really, really good, the Goodyear blimp shows up.
So. That's something Arkansas hadn't had in quite some time. Now. You're talking about expectations, Chuck. I had Arkansas before the season and at this juncture at 3-2 with losses to Texas A&M and Alabama. So I'm right where they thought they would be. Unfortunately, I was hoping that they'd get over A&M and then get Bama a better game in the fourth quarter. It didn't happen. But where do you think the fan base feels right now as we're sitting here on a Hot Take Monday of how they feel about this football team relative to what they thought at the beginning of the season? 877-377-6963. Tommy, you had Arkansas, I think, at 9-3. Were two of those losses to A&M and Alabama, or where were your kind of
thoughts? There may be a win off of where I thought they could be, and I think we kind of all recalibrated a little bit after the first couple of weeks. But I'd like to have seen them at 4-1 like anybody else. But I was not ever in the camp of, hey, they're going to be 5-0 at this point going to Starkville. So
I think part of this, guys, and I include myself in this, and all of us who are either talking right now or just listening to the program, if you expected Arkansas to be 4-1 or 5-0, they didn't meet your expectations. They didn't meet your expectations. And I say this respectfully, but the vast majority of the people who have a season prediction of what the Razorbacks' record's going to be, they've never watched a practice. I mean, they don't know what's going on there, and I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying that, we all base our own opinions on what we think. But the truth is, we're not always as informed certainly not as informed as the guys who are out there, and we get upset sometimes because, we weren't quite on point, and I think that's a big part of it.
Chuck, you referenced the Cade Forden thing earlier with him coming in for Malik Hornsby, a throwing situation where you're trying to score some more points. If you'd watched practice, you'd notice that Cade was kind of that second-team quarterback, but some fans were mystified by the fact that he was inserted before Malik Hornsby.
I understand that, and we've not seen the number 2 quarterback yet. We'd not seen the number 2 quarterback, so we really didn't know who it was going to be. And I'll say something that Sam Pittman said it in the first hour. The players decide the depth chart. They decide. Those receivers decide in a big, big way who the quarterback's going to be. And the coaches just fill it out. Players decide it every day who's going to play. And Fortin's been the number 2 guy for a while. We've just not seen the number 2 quarterback play.
And
it was a passing, it certainly was a passing situation anyway.
And what I said in hour 1, if you're an Arkansas wide receiver and if it's believed to be that Cade's the best passer on the team, and that includes KJ Jefferson, depending on who's going to play on Saturday, what KJ's kind of status is, I'm excited if I'm an Arkansas wide receiver to maybe get more of an opportunity.
Well, now let's not get carried away here, guys. Let's not get carried away and say that Cade Fortin's a better quarterback than KJ or a better passer. That's not true. This is a guy that was highly recruited. He was out of the Atlanta area, out of Gwinnett County. Went to North Carolina originally. Didn't play a whole lot. Transferred to South Florida. He was not a starter at South Florida. He was a backup. This is a backup quarterback, and he's a good one, better than average. I'm not saying he's a bad backup. But let's not get carried away. I mean, every fan base has a tendency to believe that the guy that's not playing is the answer. And, you don't wave a magic wand with Cade Fortin. You don't wave a magic wand with Malik Hornsby. I mean, KJ's best quarterback on this team by far. And KJ's going back to his home state Saturday night. I'm going to be very, very surprised if he doesn't play a great game against Mississippi State.
Let's take some calls. Robert's called in. Go ahead, Robert.
Hey guys, I had us going, 7-5. But my other question was, y'all talked about a player was going to come up from nowhere last week. He was going to show more than what we'd seen from anybody. Milrose was that player. Milrose had a heck of a game, and I wish we could have stopped him, but we just couldn't. We didn't have an answer. We did for a little bit, but once he got in the groove of his own game, and it's just, we got. That's like for their mentality, next man up, and they had it and we didn't,
Yeah, that's what's tough. Go ahead, Robert, sorry.
No, that's it. I'm just, it was just tough to watch. Milrose was that kid that had the breakout game.
Yep, and it's a guy that Arkansas and Kendall Briles recruited, and a guy that you'd love to have on your football team. That's what Alabama has over you right now. It's not just the quarterback position, but they can plug and play a bunch of dudes all over the field, and it's got more depth than you. It's what happens when you recruit the number 1, number 2 recruiting class pretty much every year.
Guy's a 5-star recruit. I mean, he was a 5-star recruit, and he did to the Razorbacks Saturday what we've seen KJ Jefferson do to other teams. And you look at the teams in our conference, a lot of them, that's the style of quarterback that they want now. And, Milroe certainly fits that bill, and, I mean, that was a great play. Guys, I'll tell you one thing I was very excited about this morning, though. I woke up, it's 44 degrees in Fayetteville this morning. Fall weather's here, and I'm telling you, it's time to check out Pascal's Plant Protection Program. This is going to guarantee you seasonal tune-ups. We're kind of at the point in the year right now where everybody's in the back of their mind thinking, I hope my heater's okay. And Pascal's Plant Protection Program ensures that it is. Seasonal tune-ups, not just now, but all year long. You got a lot of other benefits as well. You can schedule your seasonal tune-up at gopascal.com. Professional people, professional service. They've been in Northwest Arkansas for over 50 years, and now they're expanding all over the state. They've got locations in Northwest Arkansas. They're in the River Valley now. They're in Hot Springs, Searcy, Cabot, Newport. They're in the Joplin, Carthage area. They cover a lot of ground, and you're going to find what I found and what people have known for literally half a century, that these are professional people. This is professional service. So schedule your tune-up at gopascal.com.
We know how it is here. There's going to be that week, maybe later this month, where it just snaps, and all of a sudden we got low temperatures in the 20s, daytime highs in the 40s. It's going to happen. We know we all, and we're all going to be surprised, but we shouldn't be because it happens every year.
Guys, do you guys run your heater in the morning and your AC in the afternoon? How do you do it this time of year?
Yeah, absolutely. You wake up.
I do.
Wake up with one.
I'm not embarrassed. No, I'm not embarrassed. Heater's on in the morning, AC in the afternoon.
Yeah, the good Lord gave us central heat and air for a reason.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely. All right, Ty's headed behind enemy lines down to Stark Vegas this week. It's brought to you by Mock Legal Solutions, a law firm offering reasonably priced legal services. In most cases, no hourly billing. Know exactly what you'll pay and never be billed for emails, text, and calls. That's Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Excited to check out the Cotton District. Is it
What's the other thing there? They got the on-campus creamery or whatever. I know Phil was talking about that one of the baseball trips.
Yeah, Phil loves the press box and the media because apparently they have ice cream for that's outstanding. Apparently,
I know
Chuck.
it's shocking to think that they'd have a dairy program there.
That's the difference between a guy like Phil and a guy like Ty. Phil's talking about how good the ice cream is at the ballpark, and Ty's trying to plan where he's going to be at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I do have to wake up. I'm going to have to figure this out. I told myself
you got to burn it at both ends, man. You got an early kick. You're a young man. You got to burn it at both ends.
Yeah, and an early pregame show as well. Nice little 6 a.m.er that we got.
Why even go to bed?
Stay into one. I mean, I don't want to do this.
You need
shit.
to roll in about 5:40. Take a big swig of coffee, and away we go.
And away we go. Yeah.
Sleep on the way back.
Pull you a Kenny Stabler. That's what he used to do with the Raiders.
That's exactly right.
I am not a
snake.
I'm not driving back, so that's Chuck. That's a nice idea. And it's just Tommy's just sitting here not saying one thing or another. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I almost just got clearance right then and there for Friday night.
Stabler showed up one day for the team breakfast. He's a little bit late. They said, "Snake, you just getting up?" He said, "Getting up. I'm just rolling in."
That's right. Just getting in. Sorry, I'm late.
The old sunset, watching the sunset rise because you hadn't fallen asleep yet. I don't know how people do that. I do want to. Chuck, you were talking about Mike Leach and the entertainment value that he brings to a football team or a fan base. Well, here was what he had to say about eloping. Alyssa Lang is getting married, and this was his recommendation.
I would kind of keep it on the down low, which you failed to do that. Trevor was probably planning to, but you didn't. So go ahead and don't say anything else about it. But as soon as the season's over, or even an off week, go elope. Trust me on that. Go elope. Because basically every female in the family is going to terrorize you guys until it's over. Once it's over, I mean, they'll be upset for a few days, but it'll be over. And then, you cruise along, have a happy marriage, have a happy life.
She's with the SEC Network and ESPN. She asked him about what they should do for their wedding. He's just elope. Don't worry about a big wedding.
At least he'll play along. I mean, that was right after the game. You could hear the band playing. I mean, that's how interesting the A&M Mississippi State game was, Chuck. You could ask questions about marriage.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's the stupidest segment of television I have ever listened to or watched in my life. That was a stupid question. It was a stupid question. And Leach sounded stupid talking about it. And people that don't know any better lap it up. That's a dumb question. I mean, my gosh, they just beat Texas A&M, and you got some reporter out there asking him about that. I mean, that's just dumb. Now, Leach did play along. If you listen to the whole thing, he had to kind of get his feet underneath
Yes, he did.
He didn't really know what to say at first because it was a dumb question. And but whatever. I mean, some people like that. I hate to sound like a cranky old man, but get off my lawn.
Well, you do kind of sound like one. They asked Saban.
I don't care. I think that's stupid.
Jenny Dell asked Saban about Bryce Young.
She asked him a good question. She goes, "How did your team rally?" And then he went in on.
See, that was a good question. That was a good question, and Saban just went off.
He only heard. Only heard. When he heard Bryce Young, she asked him about the team, which was I want to talk about the team. You just got asked about the team, dude.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He tuned out as soon as he heard Bryce Young.
Because he was ready for that certain question, and he didn't get
exactly
that.
Right.
Didn't get that certain question. Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV and get that lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. We're going to be doing the Morning Rush live from Wheels RV here in a couple of weeks. You're talking about 44 degrees in Fayetteville. It's a cool start to the day on the White River at Gaston's White River Resort. I was talking with someone, a friend of mine had went to Gaston's, kind of had a weekend getaway with the wife, watched some college football. They did a Saturday morning half-day fishing, got done at noon, got some lunch, watched the game, had a big time, went and had dinner after at the restaurant overlooking the White River. It was just a great time. And he loves airplanes and stuff like that. You always get to see some planes land and come and go there at the airstrip that's on site there at Gaston's. It's just a lot of fun. And fishing is always the star of the show. And the guides there at Gaston's, whether you got kids with you or it's just, like I said, a couple's weekend, they take care of everything. Even if you've never even fished once in your life, they'll make it fun and enjoyable and do everything for you to make sure that it's a good time. It's all at Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
It's the most wonderful time.
Whoa, Dad,
of the
Christmas is
year.
months away. Why are you singing that?
Oh, no, Matt, it's football season. That is the most wonderful time of the year.
You know, your dad's side is approaching legendary status. Anyway, Hog fans, this is Matt.
And this is Robert, a.k.a. Legendary Dad Guy.
Dad, please stop. Folks, he is right, though. It is time for football.
And, Matt, with all the hype surrounding this year's football team, everyone should be loading up on their Hog gear now before it's too late.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback has all things Razorback.
Yep, whether your needs are for tailgating, game day, man cave decorations, and dorm room stuff. Hey, Matt, you do have your dorm room
Dad,
ready
I
to go,
graduated 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah, keep forgetting.
Folks,
That's
come and
right.
see us at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
We're located at 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baum Walker Stadium. And, Matt, I'm going to leave that WWS.
He means our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Or you can call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. It does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Stop by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 in Rogers in Fort Smith, where it's happy hour all day, every day. Stop by anytime and try our $4 cocktails. Choose from a Bloody Mary, Cape Cod, Tequila Sunrise, Whiskey Sour, and more. There's also $5 glasses of wine, and Miller Lite 12-ounce drafts are always just $2. Get to TGI Fridays for lunch Monday through Friday for our $9.99 burger deal, available until 3 p.m. and comes with fries and a soft drink, tea, or Miller Lite draft. Order online for pickup at Fridays.com.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Wave Rural Connect has opened their Lutherville zone, serving Hagerville, Knoxville, Lamar, and Ross areas with fiber internet starting at $49.95 a month. TV and phone service available too. Sign up now and the $100 install fee is being waived. Call 833-492-8372 or go online to signup.waveruralconnect.com and get the best customer service available and the fastest internet from Wave. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
What says relaxation better than the warm, bubbly water and jet massage of a hot tub? Hi, Tommy Kraft here for Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. The Truckload of Savings event is the perfect time to get a hot tub that you've always wanted and enjoy the relaxation that comes along with a hot spring spa. Hey, right now at Burton Pools and Spas, the Truckload Savings event will save you up to $4,900 off on select Hot Springs hot tub models. They have easy financing. In fact, payments are as low as $80 a month with approved credit. And they can get your hot tub, quote, ready to go and get you financed fast in under 5 minutes when you stop in at Burton Pools and Spas. Now, they're in Springdale. They're also in Fort Smith, and this truckload savings event won't last long. You can first look online if you want at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. It's the truckload savings event on Hot Spring Spas. Burton Pools and Spas. They are your source for backyard fun for more than 44 years.
We will make your life easier. Jody'sAuto.com will pick up your vehicle at your office or home or wherever. Take it to one of our 3 locations in Van Buren and Fort Smith. Perform any service your vehicle will ever need and deliver your vehicle back to you. Hi, Kim Bircher with Jody'sAuto.com. No missing work. No finding a sitter. No sitting in a waiting room. No wasting your precious time that you don't have. Many of our customers tell us, you're saving me money. Pick up and delivery, it's free when you spend $75 and only $10 if less. With our 3 oil change specials, you're going to find adding $10 will mean nothing. And we always have free shuttle service. You bring your vehicle to us and we will take you and pick you up in our vehicle. Honesty and customer service is always our #1 goal. We will make your life much easier. Jody'sAuto.com. Jody'sAuto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas Razorbacks in our championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
I know a lot of you want to know about the status of KJ Jefferson. Here's Coach Pittman after the game.
He hit his head. I don't know where he's at, to be honest with you. Obviously, we didn't bring him back in, so I don't know any more than that.
Coach meets with the media today, Wednesday, in addition to the SEC teleconference, and will be with Chuck on his coach's show on Wednesday night. Is that the #1 question you think he gets asked this week, guys?
Oh, well, no question about that. I just don't know that Chuck we're going to get much of an answer, and why would he give much of an answer going into Saturday's game?
Well, when somebody gets hit in the head on Saturday, you're not going to know on Monday if everything's okay. I mean, you're just not. People want a definitive answer, and I get that. I mean, we'd all love a definitive answer, and I'm sure they would too.
Yeah,
but,
would.
You don't have, when a guy leaves the game because he took a blow to the head, the idea that on Monday you're going to be able to say, oh, he's okay, he's going to play, everything's going to be fine. I don't know that that's the answer that you're going to get because I just don't think that answer is available yet.
Particularly in a world where we're following the week where the Tua Tagovailoa stuff happened. I know that's NFL, but everyone's just more sensitive to head injuries right now.
No doubt. In fact, I heard Chris Doering on the SEC Network make a comparison, with Alabama keeping Young out to the way that Miami handled Tua. And, there's no doubt that's on the forefront of a lot of people's minds right now.
That's what I was going to bring up, Tommy. Does that affect – I know it's professional at college, as Chuck just referenced, but does that affect Arkansas's decision to play KJ this Saturday?
No. It doesn't affect the decision. It affects our conversation, but it does not affect the decision.
Drew Sanders was named the Butkus Linebacker of the Month in September. He had a really good month for the Arkansas Razorbacks. And I do have some bad news to share. We're talking about KJ Jefferson. Did y'all see Traylon Burks get carted off?
Yeah, I did. I did see that he was injured. I didn't know much more beyond that, but I did see several headlines on Twitter about that. So.
That was a bummer.
Didn't look good, did it?
No, it did not.
Didn't look good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd recommend rewatching that replay, but yeah, I know for him, and I was pretty bummed about him, and so hopefully he will get better for whatever he's dealing with. So that's something tough. All right, we got a text in from one of our team members, Ray, and he was asking the question about Malik Hornsby, and that's probably if not KJ's kind of injury, Cade Forden in that, and it's a pretty simple answer, guys. Cade Forden's been the backup. It just hasn't necessarily been broadcasted to everyone.
Everyone I talked that had access and got to watch a lot of practice this year, and I don't have a long list of people, but Chuck, you've talked to everyone I talked to came away with the same thing when it came to passing the football, that Cade Fortin was the more gifted of the two between Hornsby and him in throwing the ball. Didn't mean he was the better quarterback. So I'm not surprised at all that Fortin went in. And we've talked about this for a couple of weeks here on the show, that if it came down to a long stretch that KJ was out, we thought this would be the way it would go.
Well, here's the thing, and I know people are talking about this, and I understand all that, and I don't do social media like a lot of people do, but I know there's been a lot of conversation in terms of what's going on there. But, this didn't have anything to do with the outcome of the ball game. What we're talking about didn't have anything to do with the outcome of the ball game. And the reality is that if we get into a situation where either Cade Fortin or Malik Hornsby's got to play quarterback for an extended period of time, we're going to struggle. I mean, look, Alabama struggled when Bryce Young went out. And, they've got an offensive line and just an overall team that allowed them to overcome that. I'm not sure we're quite in that spot. I think we're more prepared maybe than we were last year or the year before. But this is going to, the guy that's not playing is always the answer, and I get it. But, this is going to be a topic of conversation during the week. But it's really, I don't know that it has that much to do with anything right now.
Surely no one believes that if Hornsby had come in instead that Arkansas wins the game. I mean, I haven't talked to anyone that said that, but surely there's no one out there believing that, right?
Oh, I think what happened was that people, people expected it to be different than it was. And, they expected Malik Hornsby to go in. Some people did. And when it didn't happen, they wanted an immediate explanation. And why was it not the way I thought it was going to be? And I understand that too. But, gosh, Arkansas needed to throw the ball. I mean, Ty, you were talking a little bit earlier about how, you got to throw to beat Alabama. And certainly at that stage of the ball game, they were going to have to throw. And, if Fortin had not been if they, in their minds, hadn't been the number two, say they had 2A and 2B, I still think he might have gone in because at that point you needed to throw the ball.
That's going to do it for your Hog Update. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Dallas Cowboys win again. Cooper Rush still undefeated as the starter for Jerry Jones' squad. Mr. Jones was asked about Dak Prescott's status after the game. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I think that everybody should feel like I feel, and that is that Rush gives us a chance. We certainly know that Dak, as we look to the future, that Dak is an ingredient to our success that's really a must.
Everyone should feel how he feels, guys.
Clip that out.
I love it.
I want that on the ready anytime.
Well, I think that everybody should feel like I feel.
Yeah, right there. That's all we need right there. Is anything more true in life from any of our perspectives?
That's exactly right. I wish everyone would think exactly like I think.
Yeah, if everybody would, the whole world wouldn't have any problems. But you said it best earlier. There's nothing like a well-played backup quarterback, someone that's got the team rolling to make the starter healthy.
Well, yeah, we were talking off the air about maybe a different situation with a different guy. But, yeah, you got a backup playing well and a starter gets healthy. And I think with Dak, I mean, that's a motivator. I saw week 5, I guess. They're saying I lose track of what the weeks are in the NFL, to be honest with you. But I guess he's
the Eagles
maybe he's going to come back a little bit sooner. Yeah, and
Rams
look,
this week, Eagles next, I believe.
They're paying Dak a fortune. I mean, they're paying him a fortune. And you're not gonna sit a guy that's your franchise quarterback. I mean, you're just not. And I happen to agree with Jerry. I'll think like he's thinking. How about that? I think that you got to be happy that Cooper Rush has won the games. The division's not good. The Giants, the Commanders, and they're not very good. So. You're going to have to beat better teams if you're going to get to where you want to go ultimately, and Dak gives you that best chance.
The Cowboys won last night, and the Kansas City Chiefs won last night. I'll tell you what, Patrick Mahomes, that kid can play some ball. He was ripping up that Bucs secondary linebacker. He's doing whatever he can. I think they scored in the first 6 of 7 possessions on Monday Night Football. A little bit of revenge after what happened in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, but, man, he looked ferocious last night. I don't think he's missing Tyreek Hill that much.
Was it 20,000 yards?
He was great.
Career.
Yeah.
I just saw what do y'all call it, a meme? A graphic, something about him getting to that career achievement. So
it's unbelievable, man.
Hey, APAC Arcola has immediate job openings in Boone, Marion, Baxter, Washington, and Benton counties right now. If you are a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, a concrete finisher, a diesel mechanic, got experience with paving or concrete labor, they'd love to talk to you. You can apply online at jobs.crh.com. Great pay, sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Again, apply online, jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
Hour 3 is next.
The Burton Pools and Spas Truckload of Savings event is going on now. We have truckloads of Hot Springs hot tubs in stock and ready to deliver. We'll have you soaking in warm, bubbly water just in time for fall. Save up to $4,900 off on select models. Get easy financing with payments as low as $80.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all. No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Play in pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $150,000 plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for the correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house and 20 times your entry if you hit all your picks. Bet on up to 5 player props, over-unders, or individual player matchups across every major sports league, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Sign up now with your promo code HTL. That's promo code HTL at nohouseadvantage.com, or download the app on the app stores to get a first deposit match of up to $25. Make sure to check out No House Advantage today and experience daily fantasy sports redefined, because it's not just how you play, but where you play. You won't want to miss out on this. nohouseadvantage.com, promo code HTL.
In the low 50s, and then a sunny day coming up on Tuesday. Looks like we'll be in the low 80s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
It is all about the Hogs right now.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3 KERX Paris Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by The Fenceman. For custom-built fences, gates, and controlled access systems, call The Fenceman at 479-782-3936. The Fenceman. He ain't afraid of no work.
Nick Saban and Sam Pittman will make their way to midfield. The Hogs gave them all they wanted for 3 quarters. Alabama opened it up in the 4th, and the Crimson Tide remain undefeated. They improved to 5-0 on the year. Hogs dropped to 3-2. Bama wins the ball game 49-26.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Hour number 3 of the Morning Rush Hot Take Monday. We've gotten a lot of text in this morning how you kind of understood that Alabama was going to end up in a loss. You thought at times, hey, maybe it was close, maybe you could have had it. But they keep going back to Arlington, keep going back to what happened in Texas A&M. Guys, frankly, to be honest, 4-1 sounds a heck of a lot better than 3-2.
Well, this loss makes the A&M loss sting a little bit more. It's Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, Alliance, and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Great service department to back it up, even a mobile service shuttle that will come to you to make it easy and convenient. It's all at Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
877-377-6963 is our number this morning. And I know Coach Pittman was asked earlier last week about the running back situation behind Rocket. Drew asked him about it post-game. Here's what he had to say.
I think Rocket's the guy, and then The other guys are, I don't know that any of them separated from the other guy. I think they're all good runners, but Jimmy may feel different, or I might after I watch the tape, but not right now. I don't think so.
Guys, I didn't think Rashad Dubinion had made a freshman mistake really for the most part, but that fumble that Helms had on him was pretty big play against them.
I wouldn't categorize it as necessarily just a freshman mistake. I mean, upperclassmen fumbled too, but it was a big play. I mean, it was a big play because I think he'd gained 11 on that play and then lost the ball. So, I mean, it was a big play, no doubt.
You know, if you're in the stadium on the big screens, because I went and sat outside in the stadium this week, the screen in the stadium that Coach was looking at didn't show that other side angle. And everyone was wondering, based on that, why the replay booth didn't step in sooner. And it's almost as though Coach had to shut the game down, which he did to get a replay. He didn't lose the timeout, but it was pretty obvious when you were watching the TV broadcast when we went back home. It was pretty open and shut if you had that angle. But I can see why Coach was so upset about it. He didn't have all the information.
I didn't think they reviewed plays unless they went against Alabama. That was the.
So did the guys sitting around me. That's exactly what they said.
That was the. I mean, they were trying so hard to figure out a way to take away that onside kick. I mean, they kept looking, and I thought, well, if they keep looking, they're gonna find something.
Yeah,
I'm just joking.
There was two things.
It just seems that way.
There was that block that occurred,
right?
And the ball has to go 10 yards. The block being initiated by the receiving team. You had the block going on there, and then did the ball go 10? Those are hard plays there, but yeah, I mean, they kept looking. But everybody was upset about that fumble play because from the one angle that the entire crowd in the stadium got shown, it didn't look like a fumble at that moment. And Coach, that's all Coach had other than what people upstairs were telling him.
Initially it did, and I kind of thought too, well, the ground caused that. But then when you saw, when you saw the other angle, you knew it was a fumble.
Because I was wondering, why in replay shutting that down? That seems less than open and shut, more 50-50. And then, boy, what you watched on TV, once I watched it back, it's pretty open and shut.
Yeah, I have the television angles that you're talking about, and that if you only show that one replay to the crowd's going to react a certain way in that. But as you just said, it was clear, cut and dry. Was there any play that you felt like Arkansas got shafted on during the course of that game? I mean, Alabama had
there's a lot of face mask. That's probably the most undercalled play is, Tommy knows more about this than me, but my observation is look, there were times I'm sure we grabbed their face mask, and I've seen a lot of pictures of plays where they grabbed ours, and there was a lot of that going on. They called a lot of penalties. I mean, both sides were playing aggressively, and the good teams, pick your sport. I mean, they put pressure on the officials too. I mean, they put pressure on the officials. They walk that fine line, and they push the envelope, and they make officials make decisions, and. I can remember the great Arkansas basketball teams. I mean, the other team's point guard's wrist was raw at the end of the night. And you put pressure on the officials. You make them make calls because a lot of times they won't.
Arkansas had 6 fouls for 31 yards. Alabama 10 flags, 101 yards. So.
And they're so aggressive that if you were to call, if they'd called all the things that just people have pictures of, I mean, that'd have been 15 penalties. And the point is that they put pressure on the opponent. They put pressure on the officials. Nick Saban's over there barking at the chain gang. I mean, they put pressure on everybody in the building.
Yeah. And you can't judge things based on a still photo. I mean,
no, you can't.
You can't. You got to have video, and you got to see. And a hand on a face mask is not a foul. We got to clear that up too. That is not what you got to grasp, pull, and twist. So. To get the flag. And there was some of that went uncalled, but you also got to look, did it affect the play too? If it's way over here with 2 linemen and has nothing to do with the play, a lot of times that'll get let go.
Well, I just don't think that, ultimately all those things, are kind of like, analyzing, did you do this well against Alabama? I mean, they're going to be calls every game that go your way and going to be calls you're mad about.
Yeah.
What do y'all think was the deal with KJ's passing on Saturday? We got a text from Bean out of the 870. What did y'all make of his passing game?
I thought there were some.
Well, I mean, it wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to hit some of those routes out in the flats, some shorter routes, and I just thought he missed on them. It's just obvious. Just watch him. He overthrew a couple, and he was just off target.
I thought he had a bad day, comparatively speaking, and KJ's had a lot more good days than bad days, but I don't think he had his best day. I shouldn't say he had a bad day. I don't think he had his best day, and as Sam Pittman said after the game, they're going to throw the ball better. They're well aware of that, and I thought there's still some intimidation factor playing Alabama guys. They can say all the right things and do all the right things, but you still go into that game knowing that there's not a lot of margin for error, and you still go in as a quarterback knowing that hitch or that out route or that short throw that nobody else makes a play on, Alabama might be able to, and I think that affects the way you throw the ball. And I just thought KJ had a game that he'd probably like to erase.
You hold KJ Jefferson to 155 yards passing and 38 yards rushing. That's the recipe to how to beat Arkansas. You neutralized the best player on the offensive side, and that's KJ, and those aren't numbers that are going to lead Arkansas to wins against great teams for sure.
Well, I think we've seen back-to-back weeks, and a question that's been asked before the season, can Arkansas win a football game without KJ Jefferson playing really well? He hasn't played really well the last 2 weeks. You've lost. You're going up against a kid, Will Rogers, who is, for all intents and purposes, an all-SEC quarterback and is playing like it. And they just got a big win against Texas A&M. I don't think if KJ does indeed play, I don't think he can have a mid-game in Arkansas walk. He's going to go back and do what he did again in Oxford last year if Arkansas is going to win this game on Saturday.
Well, let's not be so quick to turn on KJ. I mean, this is the same crowd that 6 weeks ago was belly aching because he wasn't named to the preseason all-conference team, and everybody wanted to know why. So let's not turn on him so quickly. I mean, Alabama makes a lot of quarterbacks look bad, and I don't think he played bad against Texas A&M. I think he made a bad decision on a big play, and for a lot of people that defined his night, and I understand that. I mean, you make a bad play at a big moment, for a lot of people that is going to define your night, but KJ still is a great quarterback. He still gives us our best chance to win. He had a bad day against a great team, and lots of quarterbacks are going to have bad days against Alabama.
Well, I hope that's not what – I mean, I don't think that's what we're saying here. When no one's here turning on KJ. But
I'm sorry. What I'm coming from is the team is flawed in certain areas, especially on defense, that your quarterback, regardless if it's KJ or anyone else, has to have a banner day. They can't have a midday and you expect to win. That's sounds like it's a shot at KJ. It's not. That's more of what you need to do to win football games.
Here, I'd push back from that just from this standpoint. You always like to play devil's advocate. I think you got a stable of running backs led by Rocket Sanders that can carry the team in a lot of situations when the team isn't named Alabama on the other side of the field. So, I mean, I think that does relieve some of the pressure from the quarterback if you can get the ground game going. And that's twofold. That's offensive line and the backs, Chuck, but I think your running backs can carry the offense in certain situations.
I do think the running game and the play of the offensive line dictates the rhythm of a game. And I think that's going to be important this coming week because, Mississippi State's a quick strike kind of team. Now, I know they're running the ball well, and I mean, they gashed Texas A&M more than once in that game. But they like to move in a hurry. They like to strike in a hurry. And I think that from an offensive standpoint, you do need to dictate the pace of the game. And Alabama's too good a team for that against. You're not going to dictate the day against a team like Alabama. But I do think that you've got a chance to do that against Mississippi State. Mississippi State's really good. They did to Texas A&M what I think a lot of fans thought Arkansas was going to do to Texas A&M, just to be real honest. If they'd been in Fayetteville, might have. I don't know. But, Mississippi State was able to do that. You have to give them credit. They're tough in their place. But I think that Arkansas's offensive line and the running game is going to have to dictate the tempo Saturday.
I know the Aggie Yell might be the worst tradition in sports, but is the cowbell the most annoying part of any SEC team in sports?
I will give them credit for one thing, and if you've been down there, you know this. They dictate when you ring the bells on the scoreboard. They tell you when it's okay and when you got to stop. And they really do a good job of that because, basically the conference said this is the only way you're going to get to do it. And I know it's a noisemaker and still don't know why they get to do it and nobody else does, but it's because of their tradition. I understand all that, and they've policed it about as well as they can. But, you're going to hear them. There's no way around it. You're going to hear them.
It is good that you're playing these guys at 11 a.m. Chuck, you referenced the 2010 game earlier where the very end of the game, I think it was Jake Beck and might have been D.D. Jones that sacked Chris Relf. I'm trying to remember who that quarterback was that day. For that night game, that was more one of the more underrated wins in the Bobby Petrino era, going to Starkville, beating the top 25 Bulldog team that night.
I mean, that's a tough place to win on Saturday night. 2 years ago, when Arkansas won their first SEC win under Sam Pittman, broke that long losing streak. That was a hard-fought win, and I felt like, I know that in the grand scheme of things, that, is not his signature win. I understand all that. But I felt like at that point we were really headed in the right direction because I'd seen how difficult it was to win there in a night game on Saturday night. Tough environment. They went down there and they won that ball game. And I thought that at that moment we got the right guy. I mean, we got the right guy. We're going to be okay.
Greg and Blake texted in. He said, "Hey, guys, all you got to do, Tommy, is score and you're not going to hear the bells." Well, pretty simple answer.
There's a lot of teams trying to find that answer when they go to
make them go 3 and out and keep scoring, and you won't hear them very much.
A&M couldn't find that answer either the other night.
So I got a text in from Billy earlier, and it's just the SEC West looks like Alabama and everyone else. I don't know, Mississippi State clobbering Texas A&M, and Ole Miss getting a big-time win. That was probably the biggest win this past week was Ole Miss beating Kentucky, I would say, in the SEC West.
I think it's Mississippi State for the Western Division. I mean, that's a Western Division game. I mean, Ole Miss was impressive. Don't get me wrong, but I thought Mississippi State made a statement Saturday.
Only reason I'd go with what you're saying is because of how highly Kentucky was thought of and being a top 10 team. But I see.
I look down on the East. Look down on the East.
They blew that game.
I admit it.
And
I admit it.
Ole Miss, you said it earlier. They blew that game. I mean, Levis and company had that game, and they had it in the Grove.
The fact that it was as low scoring as it was surprising, guys.
Now, let me ask you guys something. I admit I don't know as much as the next guy, but I keep hearing this stuff about the Kentucky quarterback. Levis, how he's going to be a top 5 pick. He's going to be a first round. Heard somebody say he could be the first quarterback taken. Am I missing something? I mean, I don't see it. I think he's good. Don't get me wrong. But they're talking about him being a top quarterback pick. I just don't see that.
I said it before the season. I thought he was the most overrated quarterback in the SEC. I thought Hooker was better. I thought Hooker should have been. I don't know. It went Bryce Young, then it went, I think, Levis and Hooker on the All-SEC list, and I thought Hooker was clear and away the second best quarterback
so far,
outside of maybe
like
KJ.
Yeah.
And that's a big game. That game is in. So LSU hosts Tennessee this week. That's going to be a big game. They play in Knoxville, Levis and Hooker later on this season.
One thing we're seeing in the SEC, I mean, we watched it Saturday night with Auburn and LSU. Hooker's this way at Tennessee. Young's the best at it. Our guy's this way. They've all got that type quarterback that the defense has to account for as a runner. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, just to be frank, the passing game's not as pretty as it would be if you had the more traditional drop back kind of pro sort of NFL passer. It doesn't look like that. The RPO game in college is very, very effective. And you see the teams in our league starting quarterbacks who play that style. If you're good at it, man, you can make a defense look bad. But if you're not great at it, there are going to be points where you have to throw the ball, and it just doesn't look very pretty. And not just with our guy, but with a lot of these guys in the league.
And I would say Young is a pure polished passer that can run. Hooker can do both. I think Hooker's a much better passer than KJ is based on watching him play. But I go back to what you just said. It's hard for me to factor this in when they play in the East. The East is it's just not the West. Now this is not the night. This is not Spurrier and Fulmer going at each other like back. This ain't that. This is a completely different East that we're looking at. Georgia's still really good, but Georgia got taken. They got taken to the wire by Missouri on Saturday night. I mean, that game was a play or two away from everyone looking around saying, "What the heck just happened with Kirby Smart's squad?" And that people are still saying that this morning.
Guys, if you follow football, even with a bad team, when they play their worst game, if they're going to play a great game, it's going to come the next week. Missouri played as horrible a football game against Auburn as a college football team can play. I mean, that's as bad as it gets. Well, if they're going to play one game that is great, it's going to come the next week. Now, Missouri may lose every game the rest of the way. Wouldn't surprise me at all if that happened. But I was not surprised that they played a great game. I didn't think it'd be as close. But, hey, Missouri gave them all that they wanted. There's no doubt about that. Guys, I don't know about you, but I like dealing with pros when I do business. And, particularly when you've got big transactions going, and real estate transactions are about as big as it gets for most people. And Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, professional set of agents. It's their training program that sets them apart. They've got the best training program in the business. And when they come out of that program, there's nobody out there that's going to be more effective at representing you, whether you're the buyer or the seller. They're going to understand the market, all the nuances that you think you know about, but you really don't. They're going to know how to get you from contract to close, and you're going to value your partnership with them. That was my experience. It's been my experience, and I think it will be too. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company's got offices in Fayetteville, they're in Springdale, they're in Bentonville, they've got a location in Fort Smith. They've just opened one in Branson, Missouri. You can log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
Got another Malik. I feel like we have to say this every 15, 20 minutes about Malik Hornsby.
Do we need a sounder?
Chuck, I'll tell you what, I'll write you a script.
Breaking news, breaking news on this. You need a sounder?
Yeah, I'll get let me do this real quick because it seems like that's the... we have another...
I've never heard that on a breaking newscast before.
We have another Malik Hornsby request. Chuck, hold on. Is that one better?
A little closer.
Is that better?
So what's the request?
The request is why he didn't play on Saturday.
That's the question.
Well, because they went to the number 2 quarterback, and he's not the number 2 quarterback.
But it says
that's a simple answer.
On my depth chart that Malik Hornsby is the number 2
I don't know what else to say to that. People say, why didn't he play? Well, because they went to the number 2 quarterback. Cade Fortin's the number 2 quarterback. I don't know what other answer there is.
Because when KJ couldn't play, Kendall Briles turned around, and he turned to Cade Fortin and said, "You're in the game. And get your helmet on."
Well, part of this, you got to look at the situation in the game. You got to look at the situation in the game where, you've said it, Ty, and I think everybody in the stands knew it. You have to throw the ball to beat these guys. And Fortin gave you that best chance. But, he's the better passer of the two. And at that point in the ball game, you sure needed to throw it, but he's been the number 2 guy for a while.
If Arkansas is up in that game and you're trying to run the football, maybe you're up by 10 or 7 points, does that change, or is Fortin still going in there?
Nope. Number 2 quarterback. Simple. It's not complicated. He's the number 2 guy. You put the number 2 guy in.
And let's be honest. At that point, Alabama was going to have to beat themselves to lose that game. Arkansas was not in a position. They were going to have a lot of things go right.
I just want them to cover at that point.
That's exactly what everyone that had money on it was thinking about was, we need one more score that might make this a little more interesting.
Well,
we don't need Alabama to score one more time. So.
You're kind of bringing up the dirty little secret that a lot of fans have in the way they react to ball games. A lot of it does have to do with, did I lose money today? Mm-hmm. And, Ty, this is the reason I don't bet ball games, because I'm up there in that, I'd be up there in that booth paying attention to all this stuff, and I'd be thinking in the fourth quarter, man, I got a lot of cash on this today. I sure wish they'd cover. And when they don't, I'm going to be mad too. Yeah. So I do think that's the dirty little secret, not just here, but everywhere, to fans' reactions is those who bet, if they won or lost, that's going to affect their view too.
To Chuck's point, Brent Musburger, before he exited ESPN, would make little hints on the ABC broadcast.
He's the best at it.
And drop those little tidbits in there. So, Chuck, I agree
Look,
with
everybody knows. Everybody knows what the line is. Everybody on the sideline knows what the line is, from the last guy standing all the way to the head coach. Everybody knows what the line is.
Yeah. Hey, since 1961, Arvest Bank has been committed to putting the needs of their customers first. In fact, it started back in 1961. It was the Bank of Bentonville. I've been with Arvest back when it was Superior Federal in the River Valley since the early 90s and became Arvest. And their commitment to putting your needs first has what's helped them last for more than 60 years. Whether it's loans, deposits, treasury management, credit cards, mortgage loans, and mortgage services, they are there for you. Find them online at arvest.com. That's arvest.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Albert Pujols did something really special over the weekend. We're going to tell you that coming up. Stay with us. Hot Take Monday.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG. Bring your own guts.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Attention sports fans, your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back for their 28th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers their members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite leagues, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and more. They've also got hundreds of new casino games, including the coolest European slots, and their live dealers are waiting for you at the tables. You need a sports book with integrity and longevity, and you need to know that you're going to get paid. You need a sports book that offers everything, including live betting, MMA, golf, horses, esports, and all kinds of crazy bets. Call today at 1-800-79-BET-US. That's 1-800-79-BET-US, and they will walk you through setting up an account. Nobody in the industry gives better bonuses than BetUS. Join now and mention ESPN Arkansas, and you can get up to 200% in bonuses on your first deposit. Nobody beats that. Head to BetUS.com and join today. That's BetUS, where the game begins.
Flu season will be here before you know it, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has the regular and 65-plus senior flu shots ready now to care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 and schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. The friendly pros at Pascal have been serving Arkansas for more than 50 years. And as the weather changes, make sure your system is ready with a Pascal protection plan. Call the pros at Pascal and get a seasonal tune-up, discounted services, and priority scheduling. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
What says relaxation better than the warm, bubbly water and jet massage of a hot tub? Hi, Tommy Kraft here for Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. The Truckload of Savings event is the perfect time to get a hot tub that you've always wanted and enjoy the relaxation that comes along with a hot spring spa. Hey, right now at Burton Pools and Spas, the Truckload Savings event will save you up to $4,900 off on select Hot Springs hot tub models. They have easy financing. In fact, payments are as low as $80 a month with approved credit. And they can get your hot tub, quote, ready to go and get you financed in under 5 minutes when you stop in at Burton Pools and Spas. Now, they're in Springdale. They're also in Fort Smith. And this Truckload Savings event won't last long. You can first look online if you want at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. It's the Truckload Savings event on Hot Spring Spas. Burton Pools and Spas. They are your source for backyard fun for more than 44 years.
United Hail Pros is your one-stop shop auto body repair shop, specializing in paintless dent repair. Locally owned and operated, zero out-of-pocket with free car rental from Enterprise, with a lifetime warranty. Got hail damage? Don't delay. Call United Hail Pros yesterday. 479-309-3998. That's 479-309-3998.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Show your hometown pride with a School Spirit debit card from First Star Bank. Each time you make a purchase with your School Spirit debit card, First Star will make a donation to your school district. You make a purchase, they make a donation. Everyone wins. Support your school with First Star Bank's School Spirit debit card. First Star Bank has donated over $100,000 to local schools through the School Spirit program. Debit cards may be ordered online at firststar.bank.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this?
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Play action, going to throw over the middle. Pass is intercepted. Intercepted by McLaughlin down at the 1 yard line. It was tipped. Third pick for the LSU transfer. The Razorback defense comes through.
A few highlights came out of this Arkansas football game. A big highlight for all you Cardinals fans came out of this week, and not just one, but several. We'll talk about that coming up in just a sec.
Ty's headed behind enemy lines down to Stark, Vegas this week. Our coverage beginning Friday in Starkville, brought to you by Mock Legal Solutions, a law firm offering reasonable priced legal services. In most cases, no hourly billing. Know exactly what you'll pay. And never be billed for emails, text, and calls. It's Mock Legal Solutions, real advice. Reasonable price on the road to Starkville this week. We're also brought to you by WT Equipment. There are 8 locations across Arkansas and North Louisiana. They're the official New Holland agricultural and construction equipment dealer. Sales, service, parts, they have them. And they've got a new location in Searcy. So Springdale and Searcy, the ones closest right here in our backyard. So stop in any of their locations, find new and pre-owned inventory, see more online at WTEquip.com.
The 0-1.
Ty,
Albert lifts it in the air out to center. Going back, Reynolds at the wall. He's done it. He's done it. His final regular season home game, number 702. He's tied the game. He's tied Babe Ruth all time in runs batted in.
And we didn't know if he was going to get to 700. Now he just kind of keeps going, Chuck.
He's got a flair for the dramatic now. I mean, you think about all those people that went to St. Louis yesterday to watch the Cardinals play from all over. You know, they stood in line, and Albert hit a home run, and then they let Molina and Wainwright and Pujols exit the field together. And, I mean, to hit a home run, in that game, I mean, they'd have cheered for him if he'd gone 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. But to hit a home run and to give people that memory, I mean, that's a flair right there, and Albert's one of the few who's ever had it.
My uncle was there, went to 2 games this weekend, and just he wasn't going to miss. He bought his tickets months and months ago before the season even started, and that's a historic moment. I mean, that photo of those 3 guys walking off with the shadow in the background, in between the mound and home plate. I mean, you'll see that hanging in living rooms and offices and a lot of places in the next few years.
No doubt about it. I mean, and it's the Cardinals are Middle America's team. And so, you are going to have that kind of reaction to something like this. And, we were talking off the air. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people from our listening area that are going to be in St. Louis for that wild card series. Mm-hmm. And the deeper they go into the playoffs, the more people from Arkansas you're going to see at Busch Stadium.
Absolutely. And, these are the kind of years, even though those 3 greats are moving on, and I suppose they'll become redcoats. That's kind of the Hall of Honor, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question
with
those 3 that, particularly Pujols and Molina. But these are the kind of seasons that grow your fan base too. I mean, for the younger generation that doesn't jump on board with these are the kind of years, Chuck, that bring more people to the party.
No doubt about it. I mean, this is one of those years that's sentimental, and they've won too. And Albert's not just been a figurehead. He's not just we're not just talking about what a great clubhouse guy he is. He's produced in meaningful moments. And, Wainwright, he's not what he was, but he's still a guy that's going to – I mean, if you're in a big game, he's still a pretty good bat out there, and he's, he's up there too. So I just think all of them have given – those of us who love the Cardinals, they've given us really – 20 years of memories that'll last a lifetime. And we're lucky that we got to watch all of those guys.
You know, the Dodgers and Braves have pretty good ball clubs. I know we're not too far away as it is October. What do you think that's going to shake out? How kind of your feelings on what the playoffs are going to look like?
Well, the Dodgers are the best team day in and day out. In a short series, the Mets have a pitching staff that's really set up. The Braves are probably playing better than anyone right now in the National League. But if I was, if I had to pick two, I'd still say the Dodgers and the Astros.
Braves just own the Mets, don't they? Just own them.
I'm telling you, they do. And, Atlanta's really good. I mean, Atlanta's really, really good. And when they play at their best, they're right there with the Dodgers. And but the Mets pitching staff, I mean, they've built their pitching staff for playoff series with Scherzer and DeGrom. And they're a threat, no doubt about it. You get into a series, and the Mets are a threat. But any of those three teams, I think, could win the National League. I really don't think the Cardinals are good enough to. But, you never know. I mean, you never know. You get into a series, catch lightning in a bottle for a couple of weeks, and boom, you're in the World Series.
Well, I think back to how many times the Dodgers looked like on paper they had a better baseball team, and the Cardinals would catch them in the playoffs and send them out. So that honestly, just based on that alone, that would not surprise me if that's how it ended this year.
Cardinals have had good success with the Dodgers in the postseason. And if you're old enough to remember when the Cardinals and the Mets were both in the National League East, when Whitey had those great teams, I mean, the Mets were the rival. I mean, if you're old enough, I can say Terry Pendleton home run to center field at Shea Stadium, and any Cardinal fan that's been around is going to know what I'm talking about. And that was a great series. So the Cardinals are competitive. The Cardinals are frankly better at this point than I thought they'd be. But I do think the Dodgers and the Braves and the Mets are a little bit better.
But as you just said a minute ago about Pujols, they have a flair for the dramatic with
Absolutely.
This team led by Pujols, and in shortened series, a few at-bats that go your way can change everything.
Absolutely. Well, the Cardinals in 06, they were the wild card team. They got hot, and they won it all.
Yeah. Hey, if you farm, you got enough to worry about. Don't worry any longer about these rising interest rates and what it's going to do to your variable or balloon interest rate loan. You can lock in a long-term fixed rate right now with Farm Credit. Long-term fixed rates means there's no adjustments in your payment. There's no surprises in what your payment may become, and you have peace of mind during these changing interest rate times. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com, and set your operation up for success and rest easy with Farm Credit, an equal housing lender.
Got one more segment that you can jump in here, 877-377-6963. Going to get into more of what happened over the weekend with the SEC teams. Plus, it is also National Family TV Show Day. Tommy, Chuck, and myself will tell you what our favorite family television sitcoms are when we come back. Stay with us. Hot Take Monday edition of The Morning Rush.
ESPN Arkansas's coverage behind enemy lines in Starkville, Mississippi is presented by Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. A law firm offering reasonably priced legal services to our hometown community.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air...
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lam Lee has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Searching for the best UTV on the market but can't find it with any of the big name brands? That's where the Intimidator comes in. An American brand using American-made steel and built in Arkansas. Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Play in pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $150,000 plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for the correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house and 20 times your entry if you hit all your picks. Bet on up to 5 player props, over-unders, or individual player matchups across every major sports league, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Sign up now with your promo code HTL. That's promo code HTL at nohouseadvantage.com, or download the app on the app stores to get a first deposit match of up to $25. Make sure to check out No House Advantage today and experience daily fantasy sports redefined, because it's not just how you play, but where you play. You won't want to miss out on this. nohouseadvantage.com, promo code HTL.
3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
Let's go over a couple of games that happened this weekend. Georgia goes to Columbia, Missouri. And after going to Columbia, South Carolina, and just drubbing the Gamecocks, they go to the other Columbia. Tell me, they survived that fourth quarter. 26-22 the final. I think at one point it was 16-3 in that football game.
Yeah, so we leave the stadium. We walk to the powerhouse for the post-game show. We're just going to have dinner and, watch the guys and listen to what's going on, call a reaction, that kind of thing. And I'm watching the TVs there, and I see this, and I'm like, it's 13-0, second quarter. I'm like, what in the hell is going on here? And went out and looked. It wasn't a full moon. And we got to realize there's going to be a week, because it happens every year, and it's usually mid to late October, early November, where the top 10 gets obliterated. Like 5 of the top 10 lose. Sometimes one of them lose to another top 10, but, just upsets galore. That weekend has not yet happened. It's coming. That's where, if you can kind of time it right, you can make some money that weekend if you know what you're doing and guess right. But that weekend's coming where some unranked teams are going to upset 2, 3, 4 top 10 teams. It happens every year.
LSU goes to Auburn, gets a 4-point victory, 21-17. Mississippi State welcomed in Texas A&M and just demolished them. 42-24 to final. They scored late. Should have been even a larger differential than that. Mississippi State's playing some good football right now. That is not going to be an easy game on Saturday.
Do you ever think it would be? I never thought this was going to be an easy win going to Mississippi State.
I think they're better than some people, some Arkansas fans initially gave them credit for, some of our listeners before the season began.
I thought where they kind of started getting my attention when they went out west. And I know there's problems out there in that conference, but when they went out there and won, that's not easy to do. Go from Starkville out to Arizona and win like that. So, that's when I knew they had a pretty good football team.
Ole Miss beat Kentucky defensively, not offensively, 22-19 in the SIP. Lane Kiffin's team starting out undefeated this year. They're going to play Vanderbilt, Nashville. Man, their schedule's just brutal to start out, isn't it? Central Arkansas, Troy, Georgia Tech, Tulsa. They've just got Titan after Titan that they've had to play early on. But they did get a big win against Kentucky, one of the bigger wins of the weekend. Florida crushed Eastern Washington, and we brought up the South Carolina beating South Carolina State on Thursday night. Those are kind of the games over the weekend.
We talked about Ole Miss and the softness of their schedule. Kentucky be the first test. They passed it. Let's see. Now they're 5-0, probably going to be 7-0 before they play LSU in Baton Rouge. LSU, I think it's Vanderbilt, Auburn, LSU, A&M, their next 4 before a bye week. They could win 3 of those 4 easy.
Bryce Young, his status, sprained shoulder, according to Sam Pittman, after the game. And I know for our fan base, KJ Jefferson's status is probably the biggest takeaway from that game. From a national standpoint, what happens with the former Heisman Trophy winner the rest of the way is something every college football person's going to be keeping an eye on.
Saban talked about it after the game that this has happened before, and he's been better in a few days. Now, he's a good poker player, but he didn't seem overly concerned about it, as though they had been down this road before in a few days of rehab or whatever magic potion they'll put on his shoulder, and he'd be fine. But, I'm not saying they're going to be the best team in the country with their backup, but he didn't look too shabby on Saturday. I think with what they've got ahead, you look, they get A&M this week. Anyone think that's going to be a tight game with or without Bryce Young?
I never thought it was going to be a tight game. But
I didn't either. Tennessee's the game you got to have Bryce Young ready for.
I don't think you can win in Knoxville
in 2 weeks
without Bryce Young. And I think that offense for the Volunteers
is going to... They're good enough to win without it. Oh, yeah. That Gibbs guy, the way he ran the football Saturday, the way he's been running, they've got enough. So
I think if Bryce Young does not play, Tennessee probably wins that football game. And even if he does play, I would not be surprised if Tennessee. Yeah, and I know you have no reason to like Alabama, but Bryce Young's a good kid, and he's been fun to watch, and he's a good face of the SEC after winning the Heisman Trophy last year. You'd rather be an Arkansas guy, I get it, but you don't want Bryce Young to be injured. All right, last thing to get to, another Aggie Yell highlight. Man, these just keep on coming.
These are highlights.
Texas Aggies are taking on that good-for-nothing Mississippi State University.
Aggie, those toothless morons don't know what to expect tomorrow. What's the hardest test to pass at Mississippi State? A sobriety test. I
bet you they don't even know how to say Mississippi. What's the difference between a smart Mississippi State student and Bigfoot? Bigfoot has been sighted. Fighting Texas Aggie, happy birthday, Kip!
The best restaurant in Starkville is Applebee's. Fighting Texas Aggie, who needs a cowbell when you have the 12th man? We're going to be the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 2023, hell, out of Mississippi State.
Ugh.
These are
we going to do this every time A&M loses?
I think we have to. It's obligatory.
It's going to be an every Monday deal. I don't know how much they're going to win moving forward.
I don't know what's worse. Is the guys that volunteer and want to be a yell leader, or is it the fans that are actually cheering and rooting these guys on? I don't know how the crowd doesn't diminish. This is not helpful for recruiting. This does not help your fan base, and this only makes me more angry that we lost these SOBs 2 weeks ago.
Let's do it for one more week at least, because they play Alabama. I would be very interested to see what these knuckleheads are going to come up with to say about Alabama. And, they will. They're not going to change the way they go about doing their business. So I'll be amazed at how wrong they will be, because they have been just, can't
it's like
be
they
more
cancel.
wrong.
They canceled the Aggie yell the night before they play Alabama.
They probably should. So. All right, that's your SEC update. It is brought to you by Ashley Air. Cooler weather is certainly on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently before those colder days arrive. It's part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. Hey, on game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, it's Ashley Air to the rescue with their $69 fall tune-up. Do it right now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
The latest edition of the Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast is out as of this morning. Chuck talked with Clay Henry about the game, kind of went over the specifics. So if you haven't got a chance to listen to it, might want. It's good to hear Chuck and Clay kind of converse, not just in person, but
Clay went to the game. Him and his wife, sat in the stands. Did it? That's what I did Saturday. I took my bride to the game as well. So I'm sure that was a different feel for him to not be in the press box the way he's been for forever and ever.
It is a different outlook. Now, where did you guys end up sitting for the game?
We sat in section 102. It's about 12, 15-yard line on the southwest side. So that was a good seat. Had a good view of the game. So nothing wrong with it at all. So, but
good atmosphere.
Perfect day, 77 degrees. Wasn't too hot, even when we had some shade by the second quarter. But even those on the east side probably didn't. You were in the sun all day, but didn't roast the way you did a few weeks ago.
Give credits to the fans that were in attendance. You guys brought the wood. You guys were loud. The students that were camping out days before the game. You guys did everything you could to will this team. And again, I thought fourth quarter, botched snap, you punched it in, you're down 5. And 3rd and 15 and a backup. I would expect Bryce Young to make that play. That Jalen Milroe kid made the play of his life on Saturday afternoon.
I was able to look and see the upper deck on the east side pretty well, and those last 3 sections, which are student sections, were just emptied at halftime. And I kept thinking, after the Arkansas was making a little bit of a comeback, I said, I wonder how many of them are back at their dorm room or the frat house or wherever they're at, would like to probably be back over here.
Right.
If this thing goes the way I thought it was, because I'm going to be honest, I was a doubting Thomas in the first half. But, boy, when they covered that punt 4-yard line and Arkansas got the ball there, I said, well, backup quarterback, they're starting to unravel a little bit. I thought, here we go. It's going to happen. And didn't take but one more of those Milroe runs and then Gibbs, and that was all she wrote.
I know Bumper would love to have that QB spy tackle back, and he dove for him and almost got Milroe, but that was the play of maybe to this point Alabama's season. Backup quarterback coming in. Again, I mentioned it. Bryce Young, you expect to make a play like that. He's Bryce Young. He's won the Heisman Trophy. He's one of the best passers that Nick Saban has ever had at his disposal, if not the best. But for a kid in that situation to be thrust in as a backup and deliver when it matters the most for Alabama, I know Nick Saban was very proud of his backup quarterback, and you were very disappointed in how that game ended up turning out. It is National TV Show Day, Family TV Show Day. We already got a text from B.E. in Clarksville mentioning Married with Children, a show that you got me on. I had not watched it prior to doing this show with you, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I haven't watched all the episodes, but Al Bundy is just a character in himself.
Well, the original family TV show was the Andy Griffith Show. And for the older end of our audience, I still it's on, I'll catch a few minutes of Barney. So, I mean, that's the original one. Then, you kind of fast forward, probably in the 80s. I don't know that Cheers was a family show. That'd been one that we always watched. I know Friday nights at my house, it was Dallas and, Knott's Landing or something. That's what we did as a family when I was, 6, 7, 8 years old, back in the 80s. That was it. But for me, when I got in my 20s or whatever, I guess... what was the show? Tool Time was the name of the show on the show. What was the one with Tim Allen?
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement. That was probably as good a TV show in my teenage years
for a
family show.
That's what my dad would watch with us. It was we had 3 shows. It was Home Improvement, Walker, Texas Ranger with Chuck Norris, and Alias Smith and Jones starring Pete Duell and Ben Murphy. Those were the 3 shows that we typically watched that he would actually enjoy watching with us.
If you held gun to head and said, Kraft, name 5 sitcoms that are on network television right now, I mean, I could probably just say Masked Singer and American Idol or something like that just to try to... I couldn't tell you the last network sitcom I've got. I mean, because it's become all about Big Brother, and I don't watch that kind of stuff on the regular. So.
My roommates watch Big Brother. I've heard This Is Us.
I don't even know what's on network TV primetime
really
anymore.
I've heard This Is Us is really good. I haven't gotten a chance to. Modern Family, the clips that I've watched are funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just kind of a dysfunctional family of sorts. But like yourself, I mean, I'm what Yellowstone. Did you see the new season 5 trailer?
I shared that tweet November 13th or something like that.
I will be back watching that on Paramount Plus or whatever the heck they put it on.
Sunday night viewing.
Every Sunday night.
Ready for the marathons to come on. So
that's what
catch up.
I'm excited about.
All right, it's been a Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, KC, Heartland, Keystone, and Alliance, all at the best prices and a lifetime warranty on every new RV that they sell. It's at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover. With our friends at Wheels RV.
All right, we'll have Tuesday show coming up tomorrow, getting to Tommy's SEC Power Rankings.
More of your calls. Some movement there.
Yeah, more of your calls and texts as well. Stay tuned for halftime for some updates from Sam Pittman later on with Phil, Drew, and Maddie.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state